Yeah, so this system that I'm going to be sharing with you today is really dear to my heart because when I first started my coaching business, many, many years ago, when I first worked with my first mentor in business coaching, and I was like broke, living in my mother's attic, thinking, how did I get here? And I was praying, oh, what shall I do? What shall I do? And I got a message, you need a coach. So then I kind of went online and was searching, and I found like someone that I consider, oh, wow, this person could mentor me. And they're doing exactly what I want to know how to do. So I reached out to them. I watched some of their free training, and then I got on a phone call with them, and they basically told me, yeah, we can help you. And they asked me what my goal was, and I said, "Oh, if I could just get to $20,000 a month, I would be like, that would be ecstasy for me." And they said, yeah, you could definitely do that with our system. So their program was very expensive. It was like $15,000 to join that training. I didn't have the money. I was able to borrow some money at the time, and I managed to borrow half of it. And they said, yeah, okay, you can join the program, pay half now, pay half later. It was an 8-week program, so it wasn't very long. It was like 8 weeks. And then anyway, I followed the process, I followed the system, and basically it took me about 2 weeks to kind of create my coaching package because I didn't have a coaching package. I was just doing random one-off sessions here and there. I didn't and that was the first assignment was, okay, you need like a 3-month coaching package. You need something to sell. So it took me a couple of weeks to create that, and then a little bit of content, and then I launched my offer, and then basically 30 days later I had 17 clients at $5,000 each, right? So I had 17 clients, and each one was paying me $5,000. So you can do the maths. And that was like more money I'd ever even, like I could never imagine making even like a fraction of that before. Like, and $5,000 was a lot. Even just $5,000 would have been, oh my God, that's just so much money. And it really did change my life, and it changed my perception. And what I'm sharing with you today is the very same things that I learned all those years ago and that I still do today and that still work. And whenever I stop doing this, I stop getting clients, right? So it's like, and when you try different things, and you can try this and you try so many different things, but very often those things just, like they don't work. Like this is the stuff, and it's very simple and it's very basic and it's not rocket science. And this is the beauty about this system. You can literally start today. You can start doing these things today, and you can start getting clients tomorrow. Like I'm not joking. Right? You can literally start this today and you can start getting clients tomorrow. There's not many other things you could do. Like many other things are so complicated. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to create a website, you have to do all that kind of stuff. This you can start doing today, and you can start getting clients, within the week. But you've got to apply yourself to it. That's the thing. So today is going to be a little bit about mindset. Today is going to be, I'm going to give you the strategy, the system. I'm also going to give you the mindset, and I'm also going to give you some resources and tools, and there'll be some follow-up training for this as well. And I'm going to, even if you're not in the program, I'm going to give you access to this training as well, even if you're in the alumni as well. So just wanted yeah. So let's just dive in. Let me share my screen with you. Let me share with okay, so this is called the Coach 100 system. Okay. Like I said, this is not new. This is not new. I didn't even invent this. This is something that I kind of learned, and something I really kind of took on board, and I learned from different coaches. And I think the original person that came up with this idea his name was Thomas Leonard, right? Thomas Leonard. He's the father of, modern day coaching. And he basically said if he had to start a coaching business from scratch with nothing, he would just basically coach 100 people as quickly as possible. That's it. Just get out there, just coach 100 people. And that's really the foundation of the system is let's just coach 100 people. And when I say 100 people, I don't mean peer coaching. I mean 100 different, and I don't mean 100 sessions either. I mean 100 different people. And it's quite interesting because that's the ICF requirement. If you want to become an ICF accredited coach, you do have to do 100 hours of coach training. But this is like 100 people, right? So think about that. There's so many benefits to this. There really is so many benefits to this. There's so many benefits to coaching 100 people, and not only client-wise, not only financial-wise, not only, but more importantly, experience. It's going to give you so much experience of just learning how to coach and just really getting out there in the world. It's so powerful and it's so important. If you could just adopt this and you could just take on this right now, you've really got it. It's like, okay, over the next 3 months, over the next 6 months, I'm going to coach 100 people. Right now, the great thing about all of you here today is you've all learnt the foundations of coaching. You're not newbies. You know, you've been coaching for at least 3 months. Maybe some of you have been coaching for a couple years now. You're not new to coaching. So now it's like, now you've done your foundations training. Now you know how to coach. Now it's time to get out there into the world and actually start using these skills to really help people and make an impact in people's lives. So that's what this is all about. Let me walk you through the coaching system so you kind of know where this is. So this is our coaching system. There's two things really. Our program is really about two things. The first thing is, how do you become a powerful coach? You know, how do you become a powerful coach? And then the second piece is, how do you become a paid coach, right? So just say powerful and paid. It's PP. Just type in PP to the chat if you want to be, if you want PP to be a powerful and paid coach. Okay, great, Joe, and all of you, Gita. Okay, perfect. So this really is a system. Let's just start off. So the problem is, I'll walk you through the system and then we'll go to the part of the system that we're working on today. So the problem is, when people first get into coaching, is they don't know what to do and they just end up winging it, right? They kind of like, let me try this, let me try that. I don't really know what I'm doing. It's like, hopefully, maybe you should ask some questions, maybe give advice, but I don't really know what I'm doing, right? What we actually want is, we want to know the powerful coaching essentials. And that's really the first step in coaching, is going from winging it to knowing the coaching essentials. And there's three things for that. The first thing, we need to know how to think like a coach. Like, how does a coach even think? You know, it's all about the client. It's not about the problem, right? Focus on the client. Don't focus on the problem. Silence, leave space. Don't try to lead the agenda. It's all about the client's agenda, right? So this is how we start thinking like a coach. Second piece is, we need to learn how to help the client to up level their thinking so they can focus on the right things that's going to help them to get the result. And then from there, we learn the dance of insight, like how to coach a client so they get the insight so they can have a breakthrough. So that's really all about the coaching skills. That's the first piece that you learn when you become a coach, like the coaching skills. The second step is that if you just learn the skills of coaching, but you don't know how to take a client on a journey, then the coaching sessions can just go round in circles. It's like, okay, what do you want to be coached on this week? What do you want to be coached on this week? And it's not really going anywhere. So the second piece is, the coaching needs to go somewhere, right? The coaching actually needs to lead to something important, not just fix something every week. It needs to go to a major result. So instead of going nowhere, that's where we use visionary coaching. Visionary coaching is all about helping your client to create a vision of the life that they would love. In order to do that, there's three things. First is the dream quest. What is the dream of the client? What would they really love to achieve? The second thing is making sure that's aligned with their values and aligned with their purpose. And it really is something very meaningful and deep to them. And then the last part is making sure that they're actually living that frequency, so they're actually able to take action and perform on that vision. So that's the second piece. So the first piece is all about getting the skills. Second piece is all about making an impact so your clients get results. Let's go to the third piece. The third piece is, this is what we're going to look at today. This is what we're going to learn today. So now you know how, now you've got the skills as a coach, right? So how many of you feel you've got the skills as a coach? Just type in skills. So if you feel, okay, I've got the skills, now I know what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, skills are two. Yeah, you've absolutely got the skills. I think everyone here now can really coach and help people. So you've got the skills. You even know how to make an impact, right? And I would say this, here's the problem. Until you actually start working with clients on a regular basis over a period of time, you're not actually going to make any impact, right? But you know how to do it theoretically, and you've been practicing this. So now the next thing is really important. So in order to make impact, what do we need? We actually need clients. And that's the third piece of becoming a powerful and paid coach is we want to go from no clients to getting paid to coach, right? GPC, just type in GPC if you want to get paid to coach. GPC, get paid to coach. GPC, okay, GPC, great, perfect. Okay, so in order to get paid to coach, there's three things we need to do, and we're going to walk through. I'm going to take you through all of these things today in detail. The first thing is we need to connect with people. Very, very simple. Just connect. Like, I need to reach out to someone, need to connect with someone, and then we need to invite them into. It's like, and it's as simple as this. I'm going for ice cream today. Do you want to come? It's really that simple. So it's like, I'm going to connect with a friend and say, hey, buddy, I'm going for an ice cream today. It's going to be amazing. Do you want to come? And that's really it. So it's just about connecting and invite. And I think what we tend to do as coaches, or people that care, because I think coaches are very heart-centered people. And sometimes we care too much and we worry too much about what people think. And we think, oh, I can't do that. That's weird, right? It's like, it's not. It's weird not to do it. It's weird not to do it. Like, you're going out to do something amazing. It's like, hey, I'm going to watch this movie. Hey, I'm going to do this amazing thing. I'm gonna help you to achieve this amazing thing. Do you want to come or not? No? Okay, no problem. I'll find someone else. Do you want to come? Yeah. Okay, great. Let's go. It's really that simple. It's connecting and inviting without any emotion. There's no emotion there. It's just like, hey, I'm going. Do you want to come? The next thing is we need to run what we call the Dream Quest session. A Dream Quest session is very similar to what we do when we work with a client. When we're working with a client, what we do is we try to find out, what would you really love in a specific area of your life? Health or well-being, love and relationships, time, money, freedom, etc. What would you really love? So actually what we're doing is, before the client works with us, we actually want to run a Dream Quest sessions. And there's two kinds. There's two kinds of Dream Quest session. One Dream Quest session is a one-to-one. And there's another kind of Dream Quest session, which is one-to-many, where you're doing like a workshop. So instead of doing like a one-to-one coaching session, you'll do like a one-to-many workshop. So these are called Dream Quest sessions. In a Dream Quest session, all we simply do is find out, where are you? Where would you love to be? What would be your dream come true? And then showing them that how coaching can actually help them to get there. Which brings us to the third piece, which is make the dream offer, which is when we understand what their dream is, and we believe that that person is a good fit for our coaching, and they believe that our coaching is a good fit for them. And if it's a good fit, and it's like, hey, this is a good fit. You're a good fit for me. I'm a good fit for you. We both agree. Hey, would you like to see how we can help you? And that's where you make your dream offer. And your dream offer is going to be basically your coaching package, which is going to be 3 months coaching. And in that 3 months coaching, you're going to help them to achieve, to get to a certain place along this journey of their dream, right? And that's really what. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at these three pieces, and I'm going to go into details. I'm going to give you some scripts and all that kind of stuff as well. I'm not sure how much time we'll have. We may need to extend this a little bit longer into another session, but I'm going to try and go quick so we can kind of cover as much as we can. And you can always get the recording anytime. You can go back and watch this if you need to. Okay, so you can pause it and slow it down if you want, or you can speed it up if it's too slow. Okay, so here's the challenge. Here's the challenge that coaches have. This is from me working with hundreds of clients, right? The first challenge that we have is most people are like a hobby coach. It's like they haven't really made that decision to go pro, So it's like, am I an amateur? Am I pro? Shall I really do this? Shall I stay in the job that I'm already in and go that direction, or should I step into coaching as a profession and become like a professional coach, right? So that's the first thing. We like a hobby coach. It's like part-time. Do this when I have a little bit of extra time, and we haven't really made a decision to go pro, right? So that's the first thing. How many of you are like hobby coaches right now? Just type in hobby or pro. If you're hobby or pro, where are you? Are you a hobby coach or you're a pro coach, right? Okay, hobby coach. So some hobby coaches, okay, some pro. What would you love to be? So that's more important. Like, what decision can you make? Can you make a decision right now? I'm going pro. Pro, okay, pro. Okay. Yeah, and I recommend the first step is we need to make a decision. I'm not going to do this as a hobby anymore. I'm going to go pro. That doesn't, by the way, pro doesn't mean full-time. There's a difference. There's a difference between, there are many professionals who still do it, who do it part-time, but they show up when they show up. So professional doesn't necessarily mean time. Professional means I'm committed. I do what it takes to be a professional. I show up every day and I do the work that needs to be done. Whether I like to do it or not, it doesn't matter. I just do it because I'm professional and I show up. That's the one thing about pros is, maybe they don't feel like it, but they still do it, right? Imagine if you're a professional in a job and it's like, hey, I don't feel going to my job today. What's going to happen to you? They're going to fire you, right, after a couple of weeks. So you got to be pro. Second problem is, I've seen coaches, especially new coaches, and even even coaches that have been coaching for like 10 years, and they're not successful because they have all these advanced strategies. Like you need a website and a funnel, and you need this and you need that, and you need all this like razzmatazz and on all this kind of stuff, and they just have these complex strategies that are sometimes really, really hard to implement, and because of that, they never end up getting off the ground. Right, and they think I need to grind, I need to hustle, and all this kind of stuff, and they just don't do anything. They just say, I need to do this, I need to do that, but I'm not doing it, and they never do it, right? Because they're overcomplicating the whole thing, right? And they think that this thing's going to get them clients, and it's not. Okay, so complex strategies. The next one is the nice guy syndrome, right? I don't want to get on the phone with people. I don't want to talk to people because what if I get on the phone and talk to people and they say no? Like, what if I reach out to someone and send someone a message and invite them and they're like, why are you inviting me to this ice cream? And we have this nice guy syndrome where it's like, you don't want to disturb anyone. And you're like, no, I'm just going to like not disturb anyone because, we have this nice guy syndrome, right? And we all know what happens to nice guys, right? They finish last. right. So this nice guy, and I've suffered with this because, like as a coach, we really do care about people. We don't want to upset people. We don't want to make people feel bad. That's part of the nature and the heart of a coach is we're very nice people. In most cases, coaches are really nice people and they don't want to upset anyone. They don't want to disturb anyone. And we have this idea in our mind, which is a false lie. It's a lie. We have a lie in our mind that, well, if I invite someone, I'm going to upset them. And actually, that's a lie, right? It's a lie. Okay, so I just want you to know that that's a lie. So stop being nice, okay? Just stop being nice. Okay, and what's the result? When I say stop being nice, that's kind of like a joke. I don't mean like be an idiot or a jerk or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, don't be afraid to reach out and invite people. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I've got this thing. Do you want to come? Right? So this is the problem. If you're an amateur, you're a hobby coach. If you have complex strategies that you're never going to do, and if you're just too nice that you don't want to reach out and invite people, you're going to be a broke coach with no income, and you're not even going to make any impact either. Because if you don't have clients, you know what? You're not helping anyone. So if you want to have no clients and no income, just do these three things. Be nice. Try and figure out complex strategies and do it as a hobby. And there you go. You'll stay broke and you won't make any impact. That's the truth. So what's the opportunity? The opportunity is we want to become a pro coach. We want to be a professional coach. And like I said, this doesn't mean you have to do it full time and leave your job. Don't leave your job right now. Please don't do that, right? Stay in your job, but do this professionally. Like you should have a time every day, 1 hour. I'm going to spend 1 hour growing my coaching business. Or I'm going to spend 2 hours, or I'm going to spend 6 hours at the weekend, or whatever. But you need to put some time every single day or every single week or 5 days a week or 2 days a week or 3 days a week where you show up as a pro and you do the work and you get it done. It's really important. So that's the first step, right? The second opportunity is you need to follow a simple, reliable system that works, that you can say, okay, this works. I can relax. Now it's like an old friend. It's like that blanket that you keep putting on yourself. It's very reliable. Okay. It's like, okay, I trust this. This is something I can do. Anytime I need a client, I can just fall back into this system and I know my friend has got my back. So we don't need any complex strategies. We just need a very simple, reliable system that you can do anytime, whether you're online, whether you're offline, whether you have a website, whether you don't have a website, those things don't matter. This can be online, can be offline. You can have a website, no website. You don't need followers. You don't need a YouTube channel. You don't need any social media. You don't need anything. You can start doing this, right? So some people like get into this idea, oh, before I start coaching, I need social media this, social media that. Before I start getting clients, I need a website and all that kind of rubbish. And it's absolutely not true. When I got my first 17 clients, I did not even have a website. I didn't even have a website. I just had like a little crappy registration page. And people would just reach out to me by message and say, yeah, I'm interested. And then we'd just get on a phone call and we'd just do it. Like I didn't have a website or anything. And I was like that for quite a long time, quite a few years. And then later on, a few years later, after I'd already made a lot of income from coaching, then I decided, okay, now let me get a website. But those things came later on. Yeah, and it's still the same today. Okay. The next thing is, instead of what was it? Instead of this one, instead of being that nice guy syndrome where it's just like we're nice, we don't want to disturb anyone, and start to love the no's. We need to love the no's. It's like, oh, I'm so grateful for the no. Thank you for giving me the no, because no's are beautiful. What does a no mean? It means person has a choice. Right? And I love what Rich Litvin used to say. He said, yes lives in the land of the no, right? Yes lives in the land of the no. So imagine there's a land of no's, like so many no's. That's where yes lives. Yes lives there. So out of all these people that we talk to, out of all these people that we reach out to and invite them to this beautiful thing, most of the people are going to say, hey, you know what? I'm not interested. And we should love the no. We should love the no. In fact, when I first got into sales many years before I was actually selling paintings, that was one of my first jobs, and I was going door to door. I would sell oil paintings door to door, and I had a roll of paintings in my arm like this, and I would knock on doors and say, I've got these paintings, hey, would you like to have a look? And most people would tell me no. Most people would tell me no. But every single day, I would walk out with more than £1,000 in my hand. Every single day that I would go out. And I would go out from 6 in the evening, because when people come from work, home from work, till about 9 o'clock at night. So which is about 3 hours. And in those 3 hours, I would walk out with like $1,000, sometimes $2,000, sometimes $3,000 in my pocket. And most people said no. Most people said no. So I'd knock on the door. I say, I work with a group of artists. We're selling these oil paintings. Would be interested. And then most people say, no, I'm not interested. I say, okay, fine. And then I just go to the next door, knock, knock, knock. I work with this group of artists. We're selling these oil paintings. You're interested? Would you like to have a look? And then no. Then I go to the next one. And no. And next one. And no. Next one. Hey, yeah, I'm interested actually. We just bought this house. We've got a wall. We're looking for some paintings. Yeah, come in. Right, and then I used to go in and I used to put the paintings on the ground like that, and I used to like have them out like that, and then they used to sit in front and I would sit on the floor and I would show, do you like this one? And say, oh yeah, that's really nice. So okay, I'll put that to this side, and then do you like this one? Oh no, I don't like that. And I put that to that side, and by the end of me going through these paintings, they'd be like a stack of 10 paintings that they really like, are really nice oil paintings, beautiful, hand painted, right? And then I had this frame, which was like separate, and I used to put the frame on top of those. And then I used to say, where would you put it? And then you say, well, I'd probably put it on that wall. So I'd then go up and I'd hold it on their wall like that. I say, how does that look? And then they were like, oh my God, that looks amazing. I say, yeah, how much is it? And then I would say, well, that's, $500, right? And then I used to sell maybe sometimes 3, 4 paintings, 5 paintings sometimes, just to one person. But most of the people said no. And sometimes I go out for 2 days, 3 days in a row, and it'd be no, 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 no. And then at the end of the week, like someone would buy like £3,000 worth of paintings just from one house. And then I got to realize that actually the no's are really good, because it's like, don't be attached to the no. Just like, okay, next. No, not interested. Okay, thanks, bye. I'm not going to try and convince them to buy it. I just like, okay, I love the no. And then I say, okay, I just need more no's. So then I think, okay, if I could just go faster between the houses, I could get more no's, and then I could also get more opportunities for a yes as well. Right? And sometimes people would say, you know what, right now is not the right time. Could you come back another day? And I would save their address, and I would go back another day, right? I'd take the number and I'd call them and say, hey, I'm back in town. Would you like a look again? Are you ready? And sometimes people would. So yeah, right? So yes lives in the land of the no. So it's really important to love the no, love the no. So more people are going to say no than yes. And I think a lot of times as coaches, we say, oh my God, they said no. Like, good. We're closer to a yes. Every time they say no, you're closer to a yes. Make sense? Right? And if you do that, right? If you're a pro, if you have a very simple, reliable system that's proven, and you love the no, and you keep inviting people, you're not afraid to reach out, you're not afraid to ask, you're not afraid to invite someone to something really amazing, you're going to get clients, you're going to make money, and you're going to have more impact. Because you can't make an impact unless you have a client, and you can't make money unless you have clients, right? So it's really important. And that's going to be you if you do what I asked you to do today. You're going to be like, oh, wow, this is great. How many of you would love your first client? Just say love. Type in love. If you would just love, okay, I would love my first client. Yeah, love, love, love. Okay, love, you're all loving it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so 5 big ideas for you. First big idea, this picture was an old picture. I didn't actually have time to change it. So, but the first big idea is selling is service. Selling is service. Okay, so we need to kind of get that into our mind that actually the only way people can really get a transformation is if they actually work with you as a coach over a period of 3 to 6 months or more. If people don't work with you, they're not going to get the impact that they need. And if you just, so actually when you actually sell your coaching, actually you're not selling, you're actually serving. It's a service. It's part of coaching. So we need to reframe as selling as from being something which is icky and oh my God, I'm selling, to something I'm actually not selling, I'm serving. And I want to, and some people are ready to be served at a higher level. In order to be served at a higher level, they need to become a client, right? So for example, if I'm going to really truly help someone, it's going to take 3 months, 6 months. It's not going to happen overnight. And in order to do that, they need to become a client. So selling really is service. Yeah, selling is service. Another thing, strangers don't care about you. This maybe sound harsh and all that kind of stuff, but really they don't. They don't know who you are. They don't know what you're about. They're not going to be there for you when you need some help. They really don't care about you, right? So stop worrying so much if you invite someone and they say no. Stop worrying about it. If you invite someone and they say no, okay, fine, I asked, right? You don't be weird about it, but you can just reach out to people and say, hey, you know what? We've got this really cool thing. Is that something you're looking for right now? And they say, oh, actually, you know what? I'm not looking for that right now, Raj. Okay, cool. Bye. That's it. Don't worry about it, because they don't care. They really don't care. They don't think about you ever, because they don't even know you. And if you send a message to someone like, hey, I'm running this coaching program. I'm looking for 6 people who want to take their business to the next level. Would you be interested? And they say no, don't freak out and think, oh my God, they're going to be thinking about me for the next week. No, they're not. They're going to think about you for 1 second when they say, leave me alone, you shit. And they'll think about you for 1 second and then go and be miserable to someone else. And they're not saying shit to you. They're saying shit because they're having a bad day. And it has nothing to do with you. But what we do, and by the way, it's very rare that someone says that to you, but it may happen sometimes. But you need to remember, they're not saying it to you. They're saying it because they're having a crappy day, right? And they probably said that to 10 other people as well. And that's just the kind of person they are, right? At least in that moment. So don't worry about it too much. If someone is rude to you or whatever, it's nothing. It has zero to do with you. Like so many times, like on LinkedIn or whatever, people send me a message, hey, would you be interested in, I'm creating this website thing. Do you need anything for your website? Most of the time it's like, I don't even answer because it's like, I'm not interested. But it doesn't disturb me. It's like, no, I'm not interested. And I might just like, okay, unsubscribe. However, sometimes people do write to me and think, oh, that's interesting, actually. In fact, I am looking for something like that, right? So just remember, people don't really care about you at all. They don't know you. Okay, so don't worry so much about sending messages out or reaching out to people and inviting them, because some of them do really care about you too. They will really care about what you can offer, right? Here's the next big idea. The next big idea is someone needs you right now. There is someone in the world who really needs the help that you provide. Maybe they're having problems in their relationship, maybe they're having problems in their career, maybe they're having some issues with their mindset, maybe they're having some challenges about being lonely, and maybe they have something that they really love to achieve and they really want some help right now. That's who we're looking for. We're not looking for this one. We don't care about this one. I'm really happy to never talk to this person again. No problem. Let's find the ones that really need help. All right, so someone needs your help right now. Right now, today, you are the answer to someone's prayer, right? This has happened to me so many times. So I can't even count how many times this has happened to me. I reach out to someone, I offer them some value, I tell them about my coaching, and they say, oh my God, I was just thinking yesterday, I need to do this, and you just sent me a message today. It's like literally I was praying for this yesterday. And it's like you messaged me and I just thought this is like a divine, like a message. Like that people have told me this hundreds of times now. Like you will truly be the answer to someone's prayer. But here's the thing. If you don't show up and if you don't get out there, you're not going to be the answer to their prayer, and someone else will be the answer to their prayer. Right? So it's really, really true. Like you are the answer to someone's prayer right now. And I just take that on board. The next thing is quantity first, then quality. This is the mistake that a lot of people make. What they do is they just keep looking at the guitar. They look at the thing and say, I'd really like to get clients, but and I really want to learn how to play the guitar, but I'm not going to pick up this guitar until I'm a master at the guitar, right? So she's looking at the guitar and thinking, I can't really pick this guitar up because I don't know how to play it yet. I will pick up the guitar when I know how to play it. That's like insanity. The way you get good at the guitar is by picking up the guitar and practicing and putting the time in, putting the effort. It's the quantity, then the quality. And it's the same with coaching. Right? We need to do the repetitions. We need to practice. And when we first pick up that guitar, it's going to sound terrible. And when we try and play the strings, it's going to hurt our fingers. When it's going to we're going to be thinking, what the hell am I doing? I don't know how to play this. But we just keep on going, keep on practicing. And it's the same with coaching, and it's the same with getting clients. When we first start reaching out to people, we're going to make so many mistakes, and it's going to sound bad, and we're going to get more no's and maybe a few yeses. But as we keep, remember I told you about my oil painting business that I had? I remember the first week that I went out, and I think it was like 3 days. I was like someone showed me how to do it. Like a friend of mine gave me the idea, say, "Can you just go there and show the paintings like this?" And he kind of showed me what to do. And I thought, okay, sounds easy. And then I remember knocking on the first door, and I was like nervous like anything. I was like, oh my God, can I do this? And it's like, and the person said no. And then I think on the first day I had nothing. Like no one was interested. Next day, same thing. No one was interested. It's like, and I was like started to doubt it. And then on the third day, I actually got my first sale of a painting, and I was like, oh my God. And I think it was like $300 or something like that. And for me, that $300 was like $1 million. It was like, I can't believe it. I just went out with this, and I just sold these, and I just made that. I mean, that's like, it was just such a powerful moment in my life. I thought, oh my God, I've just I just started with nothing, and I've just got something. Wow, that's so great. And it really did change my life forever. But in the beginning, so when you first pick up that guitar, you're going to get more no's, and people are going to, I don't know what message to send. Am I sending it right? And we're going to doubt ourselves and everything like that. But we just got to pick it up and start playing, because when we play, that quantity will create the quality. So in the beginning, it's more about reaching out to people, and then getting experience, learning what works, learning what doesn't. And eventually, we can have quality and quantity. Quality and quantity. So it's about that. So in the beginning, we have this idea, okay, like when you first become a coach, it's like, oh, I'm a coach, I'm going to be a millionaire next week, and I'm going to change people's lives, and this is so romantic, and now I'm free, and all that kind of stuff. And that's what we think it's going to be like. But actually, when we realize, it's like, hold on a minute, I still haven't got a client yet, and it's 6 months, and And this is like more difficult than I thought. And I've actually got to go out and send messages to people. I've got to like talk to people on the phone. Oh my God, I didn't know it was going to be like this. And that's where the pessimism, we become, okay, now we know what it's really about. Having a coaching business, we kind of like, yeah, I thought coaching business was going to like, just learn how to coach, get my certificate, and then the clients, queue up outside the door. Like, you're certified? Oh, and there's 1,000 clients waiting for you now. I said, yeah, I'm certified. It's $5,000. Yeah, here, take 10. Like, that's what we think it's going to be like. Right? But that's called uninformed optimism. But what it's actually like is, hold on a minute, I've actually got to sell this coaching thing. I thought I was just going to coach and like, be on the beach, drinking coconuts and sunbathing all day and like coaching from, my deck chair. And you mean I have to actually reach out to people? And then we get into the valley of despair. And this is where most people give up. They quit and then they think, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore because it's like, I don't want to do all that stuff. I want to be a coach. I don't want to be a salesperson, right? And then we think, let me go and find something else. And then we find something else on YouTube. Okay, you should be e-com expert and you're going to be a millionaire next week. And then we think, okay, that sounds great. And then we do it and say, oh, this is more difficult than I thought. I still have to sell. Oh, God. And then we go back again and do something else. And this time it's like, you know what? Are people saying you should become a coach? No, don't become a coach. E-com, forget that. You should do cryptocurrency. Oh, where's cryptocurrency? Oh, there. And you're going to be a millionaire next week. Okay. And then we realize it's more difficult than we thought. And this is what people do. They loop round, right? They keep going round. They quit and they repeat phases 1 to 3, right? What we actually need to do is we need to push through to success. We need to actually learn the skills required in order to make it work, right? It works. Like, YouTube works, like LinkedIn works, like TikTok works. They all work. But if you don't learn the skills, it's not going to work. So we need to push through and learn and practice and do those things till we get to the other side, which is called informed optimism. This is where like, now your optimism is not based on, lies. Your optimism based on real facts, real truth, and real skill, real capability. And to build that capability, to build that, to understand how the system works and what to do and what to send and what not to send and how to message and everything, it takes time and it takes a little bit of practice, right? So we need to practice our way through to success. And once we get to that level of informed optimism, then we can actually achieve success and fulfillment. But it is a journey, and this is the journey. We have to go through that valley of despair. And this is true when you're working with your clients as well. All of your clients are going to go through this process. And one of the reasons why coaching is so powerful is because as a coach, you help your client to go through this process. And you support them as they're going through this process, right? And that's one of your main roles as a coach, is to help your clients go through this process. So me as a coach, I also need to realize I'm also going through this process too. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to develop the capabilities, learn the skills, and follow through with the help of my coaches and with the help of the support of everyone here. And we're going to actually achieve that success and fulfillment. So we need to remember that. That's the journey of transformation. So the idea is we need to take imperfect action today and get better. And when you start, like if you start karate tomorrow or judo or jiu-jitsu or something like that, you're going to be like a yellow belt or a white belt and you don't know what to do. But as you practice, your skill increases, then eventually you become a black belt, then you become a first dan, second dan, third dan, and before you know it, you're like, a champion player, right? So that's the process. So we need to take imperfect action. We need to start where we're at, not start where we want to be. We need to start where we're at today. And that's today, right now. Just type in now if you're ready to start today. Okay. And I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you the steps and the system, right? Okay, now push. Okay, let's do it. Let's go. Just type in, let's go. Let's go. Okay, what's been the most useful thing from this training so far? Just type in. Okay, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Let's not be a hobby coach anymore, right? Let's go pro. Okay, start imperfect action today, Coach Pushpa. Beautiful. What else? Type in the chat, what's been the most useful thing for you from this training? I know I'm going super fast and all that kind of stuff, but yeah. Okay, realizing people aren't going to be queuing outside once I get my certificate. Yeah. A lot of people have that impression that, oh, I just need my certificate and then people are going to come automatically. Let me get the certificate and people come. Right? When I build it, they will come. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not like that. Right. Starting perfect action. The fact is, no one can reject you apart from yourself. I love that, Zia. That's so cool. Yeah. Don't be afraid of no. Yeah. Love the no. Love the no's. Love the no, Coach Pushpa. Follow the simple, reliable system, Sharon. I'm the answer to someone's prayer or two. Yeah. Sharon, do the work. Marina, consistently show up. Yeah. Consistently show up. So let's look at what is Coaching 100 then? We've been talking about what coach, why coaching is important. What are some of the big ideas? Now let's look at what is Coach 100. Okay, so I've told you a little bit about what Coach 100 is. But Coach 100 is really about you recruiting your dream team, right? What is a dream team? A dream team is a group of people who you help them to fulfill their dreams. And that's what your role as a coach. What is your main role? Your main role as a coach is to help people to achieve their dreams. That's what you're doing as a coach. We're basically dream builders, So instead of calling yourself a coach, you can call yourself a dream builder, because what you do is you find out what people's dreams are, and then you support them to actually take steps to achieve that dream. You're a dream builder. So your dream team is the group of people that you recruit to help them to achieve their dreams. The beautiful thing about this is those people will also help you to fulfill your dreams, because your dream is impact and your dream is income. Their dream is their goal, whatever that is. So what you're doing is you're supporting them on their dream, and they're supporting you on your dream, and that's why we call it the dream team. So I want you to know, I want every single one of you to know right now, your dream team is out there right now waiting for you. Just say DT in the chat. DT, your dream team is there waiting for you right now, right? And they don't know who you are yet, and that's why, because you're invisible. But as soon as you actually go out there and you talk to someone, you have a deep conversation with someone, they're going to realize, oh my God, this is like this coach right here that I'm talking to is actually going to help me on my dreams. That's really important to me. Okay, so dream team, your dream team is waiting for you. Your dream team is waiting for you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we need to recruit your dream team clients, right? Why is Dream Coach 100 such a great approach? Okay, so why is this so important? Well, because you're going to start offering a complimentary coaching session, right? So we start off by the way, who would like these slides at the end? Who wants this slide deck at the end? Okay, so what I'll do is when I post the recording for this, I'll also give you the slide deck so you can go through this in your own time. So you don't have to worry about taking notes or anything. You can just get that. Okay, so you start by offering complimentary coaching sessions. You offer we call it the Dream Quest coaching session. Then you offer ongoing coaching to the people who you enjoy coaching the most. So those people that you really enjoy coaching, it's like, oh my God, I really enjoy coaching you, and they really enjoyed your coaching. For those people that you meet, you're going to say, hey, would you like to continue the journey? This is true. This used to happen to me. I used to get on a phone call with some people, and I used to have that initial coaching conversation with them, and I thought, oh my God, I would never coach this person. No way. I would never coach. I don't even want to coach this person. Even if they had the money to pay me tomorrow, I wouldn't take it, because it's like, no way. So you're going to meet people that are not going to be part of your dream team. And if you do, by the way, if you do meet those people, do not say yes. Politely, in a very polite way, in a very nice way, just say, you know what? I'm not sure if I can help you with this actually, but here's a couple of resources for you. Maybe you could try this out, right? So don't try and help everyone. Only help the people that you would love to coach, right? And you'll know immediately who they are when you meet them. Right? There's some people like I coach and say, oh my God, I would never coach this person. Right? They're just not coachable. And it's okay. It doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means they're the wrong fit for you. Right? Okay. Remember, you're offering something of value at no cost, so people tend to say yes. So when you offer this Dream Quest session, it's a very valuable session, because people get to find out where they're stuck, what they really want, and what's getting in the way, and they're going to get so much clarity from this. So it's a very valuable session that you're offering. This is not a sales call. Remember, the Dream Quest session is not a sales call. It's basically, it is actually a coaching session. Start with your friends, start with your family if you want, and then you can ask them for referrals. So what I'd like to do is I like to find people who already like me, already know me. Maybe I've done some work with them before in the past. Like these were the first people I reached out to when I first started my journey. I reached out to people that were clients from the past and from another job that I was working. And I said, hey, I'm doing this thing on my own now. Would you be interested? And I had like 8 people that I was really thinking about. And I thought there's 8 people that really, I remember they said they liked the work that I do. And I reached out and I made 5. I remember I made 5 phone calls. Every single one of those person became a client. Right? So reach out to people that you've already worked with. Reach out to people that already look up to you in some way or another or respect you for some reason. That's your lowest hanging fruit, right? Don't worry if they're a friend or a family. It's okay. Like, it's not necessarily they're the one that you're going to be coaching. It could be they're the one that you coach and they're the one that says, hey, you know what? I know this other person that would really like to have this session with you, Braj. Let me give you their referral. So it's not always the person that you coach that becomes the client. It's sometimes the one that they know that's having a problem becomes the client. That happens so many times. But it's like sometimes we reject and we think, no, I can't do this. Oh, no, I can't do that one. Oh, no, I can't do that. Oh, no, I can't do my sister. Oh, no, I can't do this one, right? It might not be your sister, but it might be your sister's best friend that needs the coaching. And your sister will say, hey, you know what? I think Jane, she was going through some hard time. I think, could you do a session for her? I'll tell you to book a session with you. So it's the referrals as well. And remember, it's the repetitions and the practice as well. It's the practice. People like to help with big projects. You can ask them to help you coach 100 people by allowing you to coach them or by referring others to you to coach. So you can let people know that, hey, I'm on a mission. I have a mission to coach 100 people in the next 3 months to 6 months. Can you help me with my mission? I'm looking for some referrals. I'm looking for people to coach. I'm looking to also work with a few people deeply. Like, do you know anyone that would be interested in that? Maybe you would like to have one with me as well. Right? So, let people know that you have a mission. You're on a mission. You have a purpose. And you do have a purpose. Like, I think everyone here probably wants to get your ICF accreditation. You want to get experience. You need 100 hours, right? So it's part of your growth. Ask everyone you know to assist you in finding people to coach. Then ask each person who you coach to refer someone to coach, someone else for you to coach. So every person that you coach, you should be asking for referrals. You say, hey, do you know anyone? And this is how you do it. It's so simple. Write it down. Hey, did you enjoy it? Yeah, this session was great. Hey, do you know anyone else that would really benefit from this? Do you know anyone else that would really benefit from this? That's all you do. You say, hey, do you know anyone else who'd really benefit from this? I'm still looking for a few more clients. Like, do you know anyone else that would benefit from this? And then they can say, let me think. And they say, oh, yeah, there's a couple of people I actually do know. And say, oh, great. And then you say, and why do you think they would be a good fit for this coaching? Why do you think this would be good for them? Well, because he's going through this situation with his wife and blah, blah, blah. And he was a bit confused at the moment. I think he would, yeah. And what makes you think that I would be able to help him? Well, yeah. And then you basically get them to sell you why you should help them, right? And they say, and then you say, I feel kind of weird reaching out to people that I don't know. Would you be able to reach out to them and offer this as a gift from you to them from me? And they say, yeah, sure. And then they just do a 3-way thing where they kind of invite you and they can invite them. And that's how you do it. And then what happens is when that person actually does the session, you reach out to that person and say, hey, I did the session with Jane and she was really happy with the session. In fact, she wants to become a client. And you just let them know. And the other person can say, oh my God, that's so cool. I'm so glad that I refer them to you. In fact, I know another person as well. And then say, oh, you do? Why do you think they would like the coaching with me? Well, because they're going through this. Okay, you know the score, right? Would you reach out to them and like connect us together? Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Now they're going to really enjoy doing it because it's like they've referred someone, that person was really happy. And then you're going to tell Jane, you're going to say, hey, Jane, I just spoke to Thing, the one that referred you. And I just really want to, I just thanked him for introducing us to each other because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be together right now. Right. And in this way, you create this loop, relationship triangle. And every time Jane gets an amazing result, you let that other person know, hey, Jane got this amazing result. It's like, and then you can tell Jane, hey, Jane, you should thank Thingy because he's the one that introduced us to each other. And then in that way, everyone starts referring everyone. And then Jane say, hey, Jane's going to say, hey, no, I also know someone. I also know 2 people as well. And then this one's saying, I also know a few people. And then you can build this whole referral system when you do it this way. And that's really how it works. It's like, and it becomes like Then it becomes like a virus in a good way. Like people start referring. And I call it the relationship triangle, the referral relationship triangle. So it's very important to um, let your clients know that when they make a win, they should thank the person who referred them. And you should also reach out to the person that referred them and say, hey, thanks for referring thing, because she just got this amazing result. If it wasn't for you, she wouldn't be here. Right? And that creates a beautiful, because the reason why people don't refer to you is this, because they never hear from you again about what happened. They don't even know if the person ever joined your program or not, because you never even told them. And another reason why people don't want to refer you is because, well, what if I refer them and they screw it up and they do something bad and the client's not happy and that was my fault because I referred them. But when they hear that, oh, I referred this person and they got an amazing result. Oh my God, that's so cool. I'm going to maybe send a few more people across, right? So it's very psychological. So you use the referral system. It's very simple. You don't have to. I remember at one time in my coaching business, every single person that I was coaching were all related to each other because they all referred each other. It's like, like this one was a cousin, this one was the uncle, and then this was a friend, and they all knew each other. It was like amazing. And it was really cool because when I was doing the coaching, and we would sometimes meet as well. We'd like sometimes have these get-togethers where we meet, and it's like they all knew each other. It was so cool, right? So it's such a great thing, and it just becomes part of your culture. It becomes part of your culture, and the best time to ask for referrals from a client is when they get the win, right? You say, hey, like. And sometimes what we also do is we give them people sometimes like a fast action discount before they coach. And we say, in exchange for the fast action discount, could you do me a favor? And they say, yeah, sure. When you get a result and you get a win and you feel really excited about the coaching, could you refer someone else? Would that be cool? And they say, yeah, sure. Right? So it's part of your culture. So anytime your clients get a win, anytime your clients get a result, you say, hey, remember, we had that deal. Like yeah, I know this person. And then you don't say, okay, great, give me the number. You don't say that. You say, okay, tell me more about this person. Why would they like this coaching? And they tell you all about why they would like the coaching. How do you think this coaching would benefit? Well, I've coached with you, Braj. I know what you're like, and this would be really good for them. And then say, okay, you reach out to them and connect us, right? And you get them to reach out and connect you. So that's how it works. Anyway, that's another story for another day, but is that useful, a referral system? So refer people, ask people to get refers, yeah? Ask everyone who you know, they can assist you. You'll learn what works and what doesn't work very quickly. Like, when you start doing this, you'll see what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Some of these 100 people will become your paying clients, so you'll start making money for what you do. So these 100 people that you're going to coach, you're not going to charge for these 100 people that you're going to coach. But many of these people that you do coach, these 100 people that you coach for free, they're going to become your clients. We've done this many times. I'll show you some. I'll show you some of the results that we've got from groups that actually did the Coach 100 seriously and they went pro. So why is Dream Coach 100 a great approach? You establish your own policies, systems because you have to. You experience. With experience, you'll get over your fears and become confident as a coach. So one of the best ways to overcome your fear is just to kind of like step into it a little bit and just like go through that. And by going through it, it's like, hey, this wasn't so bad. This was actually fun, right? You'll become a pro by inviting everyone you coach to teach you how to coach them better, right? So so when you coach these people, you can also get feedback. And they're actually helping you to improve your skills as a coach. So I don't know, I think that's one of the best things. As you're doing this, you become a better coach because you get so much experience. You'll get testimonials for your coaching, which is amazing. And you can put that on your website. You can share that on social media, all these beautiful testimonials. You won't have to learn complex marketing strategies, but you will learn what works best for you. Right? So you don't have to, like I said, you don't need a complex marketing strategy. You just coach people, right? Just coach people. Coaching experience is one of the best credentials you can have. You'll soon have great coaching outcomes and results to point to. So in other words, you're going to get case studies. You're going to get results that you can say, hey, I coached this person, I got this result. I coached this person, I got that result. And that's going to build your confidence so much, right? And also it's going to give confidence to other people. Oh, wow, they got this result with this person. They could probably help me too, right? When you use Really Light Show Up to attract clients, it's very attractive as well, right? Okay. So so these are some of the reasons, and there's many more as well, but these are some of the main reasons. Now, would you consider 39 clients to be a full coaching practice? Just type into the chat. 39 clients, is that a full coaching practice? Just type yes or no, 39. Okay. So this is a case study. This is real coaches, real students. These results were from 40 coaches who completed an average of 100 Dream Quest sessions each, right? So this is 40 coaches. We had a challenge. The challenge was it was like a longer challenge. It's like a 12-month challenge. So over 12 months, you have to coach 100 people. So this was a slightly longer challenge. It was like 12 months. So over 12 months, you have to coach 100 different people. That was the challenge. And they followed the system of and we also had them to do a couple of things as well. Every person they coached, they also have to ask them for referrals. Every person that they coached, they also have to ask them for testimonials as well. So that was part of it was like a challenge, right? So 100% of the people that went through the challenge had clients. All of them had clients. 87% of them had a full practice. So 87% of those of those 40 people, they had 30, the average was 39. Some people had a little more, some people had a little less, but the averaged out to be about 39 clients each person. Approximately half of their practice, half of those 40, like 20 of those people, they were able to fill their practice before they even finished the challenge. So before they even, they were able to get to 39 clients even before the challenge was finished. There was an average of 43 testimonials each, right? 43 testimonials each. So imagine I'm doing 100 sessions, I got 43 testimonials. So some people who didn't step into the coaching, they were really happy with the coaching session, they gave a testimonial. And then 73 referrals each as well. So most of the people that they were actually doing these 100 coaching sessions with, most of the people were actually referrals. Like the first 20 or so people were like, just people that they were reaching out to. But then it was just basically referral basis. Okay, I know someone, right? So think about that. Like that means almost every single person that they coached gave a referral. Think about that. So I just need 5 people. And if even 3 of those people give me a referral, now I've got another 3. And out of those 3, if 2 people give me a referral, and that's how it starts to grow and expand. So it is important to ask for referrals. It is important to ask. One of the things that was very important as part of this process, we did have to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. So we made it part of the policy that every person that you coach out of these 100 people, they give you a referral and a testimonial. And that's really how it works. Okay, great results. This is another group of 27 coaches who coached, and this was a shorter challenge. So this was a shorter. They did 30 sessions each. 100% also had clients. It was about 12 clients each, 350 testimonials between them, 599 referrals. So same thing. So almost the same kind of numbers, but just slightly less. The system works when you follow it. This is what I do. Like, this is what I personally did. This is what I've done. This is what my most successful coaches have done. I've had coaches make 10,000 in a week, 20,000 in a week. Like we had one of our coaches, his name's Jyoti. He's actually from India, right? And at that time I had a weekend training. And in fact, we had 2 trainings. I had a coach training, professional coach training, where I just teach people how to coach. I didn't teach people how to get clients. And then I had another weekend training, which was live in person, where I basically show them this technique, show them the method. And so we got together, we did the 3-day training, and then we implemented in his first week after that 3-day training, he was able to get 3 clients, and he was charging $7,500 per client. No, sorry, it was more than that actually. It was 7.5 lakhs because it was India, which is about $10,000 to $12,000 at the time. So he did about $30,000 just in 1 week, right? And then he went on to do like almost $100,000 in that next 6 months, right? And that's just using this system. And so many, every single person that was in that program were getting clients that month. Someone did 5,000, someone did 2,000, someone did 40,000, like, you know, over a couple of months, just by following this system. Like, so this is, you know, these are proven results, real results. I'm not saying this to hype you up or anything. I really am not saying this to hype you up, but I'm just saying this is real things from real coaches that have actually gone through this process. But here's the thing. You have to apply it. You have to apply it, right? You've got to get over your fears of reaching out to people and worries about what if people say no, and start actually reaching out. Okay. So let's take a quick look at let's do a quick pause here, because I'm going super fast. But what was the big insight so far from the training? Just type in the chat. What's your biggest insight so far? What was the key takeaway? I'm going to show you how to do it in a minute. Okay, referrals, sir. Yeah, the referral triangle. I love that. Take action, push back, act. Yeah, take action. So here, confidence is everything. Confidence is everything. Yeah. And it's like, I think courage is also really important. Like, I remember when I first started to reach out and go, you know, I was afraid. I didn't really have the confidence yet, but I had courage. So it's like, okay, I don't feel confident, but I'm still going to do it. So I think it requires a certain amount of courage, because we don't always have confidence, but we can have courage. Courage doesn't mean fear is not there. Courage means fear is there and I'm doing it even though I'm afraid. I'm still going to do it. That's called courage. So we need to step into this in the mood of courage, fun and play. Like, okay, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to learn. I'm going to play, and let's just, okay, let's do it anyway, right? Start building the dream team. Ask and you get. Okay, great. Okay, so let's look at why people pay you. What are people actually paying you for? This is very important. People are not paying you for coaching. People are not interested in coaching. Like, if you go out and say, hey, I'm a relationship coach, do you want relationship coaching? People are going to say no. If you go out to the market and say, I'm a business coach, do you want to hire me as a coach? People are going to say no. If you go out there and you say, you know, I'm a leadership coach, do you want to work with me? People are going to say no, because people are not paying for coaching. So the biggest mistake that I see most coaches make is they try to sell coaching. People are not interested in coaching. They don't want coaching. Like, I don't want relationship coaching. I don't want business coaching. I don't want career coaching. I don't want life coaching. I don't even know what life coaching is. I don't want it. I want to improve my life. I want to have better relationships. I don't want relationship coaching. Right? So what a lot of coaches try to do is they try to sell the coaching, like, you know, and they focus on number of sessions you get, how many hours, my certification, I'm ICF, you know, I'm MCC, PCC, DCC, ACC, whatever. You know, and people are not, they don't care about all those things. They don't care you've got a certificate on your wall. They're not bothered about that, right? They don't care how long, many days it is. They don't care how many months it is. They're really not interested in all of those things that we are interested in. They're really not. And what most coaches do is say, you're going to get 5 sessions, or you're going to get 12 sessions. I'm going to give you 54 sessions and 5 hours every day. It's like, oh my God, that sounds scary. Like, I don't want that. Like, that sounds like hard work, you know. And then I'm going to give you this book and that book and that book, and it's like, and there's 1,000 videos you have to watch and like 20 hours training every single day, and it's like, I'm going to give you all this stuff, and now you're scaring me. I don't have time for that. Even, like, I've got problems in my life. I don't need all these other extra stuff. Yeah. So remember, people are not paying you for the coaching. They're not interested in coaching. What people want is their dreams. What people want is a solution to the problem that they're having in their life. People don't want relationship coaching. They want a harmonious relationship with that person that they love, that is now thinking about going off and getting a divorce. That's what they want. They want to fix that bad marriage. What people want is they want to get out of that horrible job that they're in, and they want to find something that's more meaningful and pays better. What they want is they don't want to feel lonely anymore and feel like the clock is ticking and like my baby making days are almost over and there's no one in my life. And it's like, they don't want that. They want to find the right man who's going to, and they want to have a baby and start a family. That's what they want, right? They don't want, or they want to solve the problem that they're experiencing, and they want to achieve, and what's that worth? That's priceless, right? That's priceless. They don't want to watch 1,000 videos on how to get clients. They want clients who pay them money right now today. That's what they want. So the more we can focus on their dreams and the less we focus on our coaching, the more clients we're going to get. So it's really about, so here's the big idea. Here's the big idea. The biggest idea of them all. And you can write this down. Clients are created in conversations. Clients are actually created. Clients are created. I've never had a conversation where someone, well, not never, I wouldn't say that, but I would say most of the conversations that I had with people before they got on the call, they weren't thinking, I'm going to become your client. They weren't thinking, I'm going to become your client. The client was actually created in the conversation itself. There was a certain period, there was a certain moment in that conversation where the person said, I want my big dream, and it's so priceless, and I believe that you can help me to achieve it. That was a moment in the conversation, and that's the moment when they commit. So the commitment is not to you. They're not giving money to you. They're not paying you. They're not paying you for your coaching. What they're paying for is their dreams. And that's a really important distinction, right? So what we do, so this conversation that we're having is all about where are you right now? Where are you stuck? How is it hurting you? How is it impacting you? If things don't change, what's the worst thing that could happen? And then we need to find out, and if you could transform your life, what would that look like? And how would that feel? And what would it be? And what would it mean to you if you could achieve those things? If you could actually overcome this challenge and achieve those things, what would that be worth to you? And if the person doesn't say that would be priceless, you haven't done your job. The conversation is, so at the end of the conversation, you say, if you could achieve this, what would it be worth to you? And they say priceless. Then that's what they're actually paying for. They're not paying for you. They're paying for you to support them on their journey toward overcome their pain and achieve their dream. Does that make sense? Yeah. So just repeat that out loud to me. Clients are created in conversations. Clients are created in conversations, Sharon. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Clients are created in conversations. So important principle. This is one of the main things I think my first mentor really taught me about when I first started doing business coaching. He was helping me to grow my coaching practice. I was making this mistake. I was trying to sell coaching before. And I would talk about, coaching's this, and we're going to do the dance of insight together, and we're going to, listen to you deeply and hold the space, and your identity. And I was talking about all these things. And it's like, and the people like, what are you talking? I don't want that. And only when I started talking about people's problems and like, okay, so have you got this problem? And people say, yeah, I've got that problem. And they say, and would you really like this? Yeah, I would really like that. Oh my God, I really like. Okay, and would you like me to? If I could help you to achieve that, would you like that? Oh yeah. But when I was talking about like, I can do the dance of insight with you and the, life mastery method, and we're going to do deep listening, and it's 12 sessions a week, and it's like 5 hours each session, and it's like it's gonna. You're going to work on your beliefs, and we're going to work on your paradigm, and we're going to help you to see the world in a different way and maximize your potential. And it's like that sounds like too hard. That's not like hard work. And everyone would just say, no, not interested. Sorry, it sounds too hard. But as soon as I start talking about, okay, do you have this pain and problem? And by the way, I would never say, do you have this pain and problem? I would say, what's your big pain and problem? And they say, well, my big pain and problem is, and sometimes they come in superficial, and then I go deeper, like, tell me more. Like, what else? How is that impacting you? And okay, it's impacting me in this way. And what's the worst thing about that? Well, the worst thing about this is this. And if things don't change, what's going to happen? Well, there's going to be a disaster. You know? And then I say, okay, and what would you love instead? I would love this. Okay, and why is that important to you? Well, this. And what's the dream behind the dream? Like, if you could take that to another level, what would that be? Oh my God, that would be amazing. And if you could achieve that, what would that mean? Oh, that would be everything. And if I could support you to help you to achieve that, is that something you'd want? Oh yeah, can you? But how'd you do it though? How would you do that though? And then you explain how you do it, right? But that's the process. We're talking about the pain, and we're talking about the big dream, and then we're showing them, and then we show them how the coaching is the process that gets them there. But there's a specific way you talk about that. I'll show you how to talk about that as well. Maybe we may not have the full time today in this training, but we'll do a part 2 if we need to, for this as well. So I'll show you how to actually take them from there to there and what to say in the conversation. It's very important. And it's, by the way, it's pure coaching. It's all pure coaching. This is not something different that you've been learning. This is actually the coaching that you've been learning all along. So coach, if you're a coach, you should be the best salesperson in the world. You just got to follow the process. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is what we're doing, right? So what we're actually doing is we're finding out where are they stuck, right? So in this coaching conversation, we're finding out where are they stuck. Like, what is the longing? What's the discontent? What's the frustration? What's the pain? And it's probably going to be in their health or their well-being. It's probably going to be in love and relationships, personal relationships or professional relationships. It's going to be, they're lonely, they don't have anyone, or they're in a marriage and it's just not working and it's like hell, or, they don't have enough time, freedom, they're overwhelmed, they're overworked, they're burnt out, or they don't have enough money, they don't have enough clients in their business and they're struggling to get clients, and like, they just don't have any time freedom or money freedom, or they're in a job that they just hate, they're not getting career fulfillment and they want a promotion, it's just not working out, or they have a purpose and a passion that they want to do and they're just not doing it, and they feel like their life is like really not going anywhere, and they're not aligned with their passions and dreams. And that's where people are. So we need to talk to that. So when we have this coaching session, we need to find out, what is this? Which area is not working for you? So that's the first part of this conversation that we have. The second part of the conversation that we have is, now we need to find out, well, where would you love to be? So instead of that, where would you love to be? This is a life that they would love. So, I would love to have, be healthy. I would love to feel better about myself. I would love to have, find the love of my life and have children. I would love to, fix this relationship because we're almost having a divorce, but I want it to be beautiful and harmonious and joyful again. And, I want to get some clients, or I want to grow my business, or I want to, be self-employed and have more freedom. I want to travel the world, all these things. So we find out what it is, where they are stuck and what they want. That's the first piece. Then the next piece is we find out, okay, what's stopping you from getting there? And then we need to show them how coaching, if they're interested to go there, because the next question is, say, well, if I could help you to get there, would you want to go there? And then they say, yeah, but how? Because I'm stuck here. I say, do you want me to show you how we help you get there? And then we explain how coaching is the process that takes them from there to there. So that's how the coaching session goes. So it's a very powerful session. So I'm going to give you the exact scripts word for word and everything. One of the biggest mistakes that coaches make, this is huge, is what they do is they don't really deliver value. And what they do is they focus on like one session. In one session, like an hour session, and they basically, what they do, they try to sell sessions. So selling a session is basically telling your client, I can help you to get there. That's what selling a session is. Selling a session would say, I can do a session with you and I can help you to get there in this session. People are not interested in coaching sessions because a coaching session will only get you. In fact, a coaching session won't even get you there. A coaching session will just get you a little bit of a clarity about where you want to go. That's what one coaching session does. So the key is, instead of selling one coaching session, which will deliver very less results, and everyone knows it, by the way. Like if you say to someone, I'll do one coaching session with you and change your life, they know you're lying. They know you're lying because it doesn't work. Maybe they'll get a breakthrough. Maybe they'll have an insight. They may even have like a moment of shift in their life that could lead to a new direction. That's for sure. And if you do coaching well, you can do that for sure. But they're not going to actually have the transformation complete. It's going to be a little piece of the journey. And what's that worth? That's worth maybe $100. And that's what and most coaches, when they start trying to get clients, is they charge by the hour. So I'll do an hour session with you and it's $100. And that's why they can't make any money from coaching. And that's why people don't get results, because if you're not committed to, if your client is not committed to a 3-month journey with you, they are not going to get the result. So the very first step we need to do as a coach is we need to make a decision. I'm not going to sell one coaching session. I'm going to sell a 3-month coaching package that creates this transformation that is very valuable, that the client would love to have. So that's the key here. So what we want to do is, instead of selling a session, we want to sell the transformation, right? And what we're actually selling as a coach, what you're actually selling is this. You're selling the end result. You're not selling the coaching. You're selling the result of the coaching. That's called the transformation. So when you're creating your coaching package, your coaching package needs to promise, or at least show the client that if you work with me, this is the kind of transformation, this is the kind of result we can help you to achieve, right? So we're not selling the journey. What we're actually doing is we're selling the destination, right? So if you go on a plane, so imagine you go on a plane. You don't go on a plane because you want to go on a plane. You want to go on a plane because you want to get to somewhere, right? You want to go to the Bahamas and sunbathe on the beaches and drink, coconut juice and, swim in the sea naked, right? That's what you want. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe forget the naked piece, okay? So, but you want to do something fun. You want to have some adventure, right? But the plane is just a drag. The plane is just a burden. It's like, oh my God, I wish I could just teleport there. Because now you have to sit on the plane for 24 hours and get delayed in the airport and lose your bags and sit next to a big guy who's like poking you in the arm with his elbow every 2 minutes. And then every time you want to go to the toilet, you have to excuse me. Like, who wants to do that? No one wants to do that. But why do you tolerate that? You tolerate that because of the destination, right? So in the same way, the coaching is just a pain in the ass, actually. Coaching is really just a pain in the ass. And it's like, I just want this result. And if I could get this result in without going through all this coaching and stuff like that, I would give you 5 times more. Right? So the most important thing is we're not trying to sell the coaching. In fact, we don't even need to talk about the coaching. Let them pay you and then they'll discover what the coaching is. Right? So that's the important thing. So we don't need to talk about the coaching. We need to talk about what's the result that you want. And but they do need a little bit of proof to feel the confidence that, but will this actually work? So they definitely need some proof. And I'll show you how to talk about coaching in a way that builds confidence, that the person will listen to you talk about coaching. And at the end they say, oh my God, I can see how this actually works. Yeah, I'll do it. So it's really important. There's 2 things. There's 2 reasons why people buy. Number 1 is emotionally. The emotional thing is like the pain that I'm in and the result that I want to achieve. So it's the frustration and the thing that they would love. That creates emotion. But they don't only buy emotionally, they also buy logically as well. So they want to know, okay, this sounds right. Yes, I really do want it, but can you prove to me? And that's the logic piece. So how you explain your coaching is really, really super important. When you crack this, like if you can combine these 2 things, emotion with proof and logic of how it works, it becomes a yes. There's only one reason why people don't work with you. It's just because they don't believe either don't believe you can do it. They don't believe the coaching can do it, because it's like, what is this coaching thing that you do? You have a conversation with them once a week? Nah. Right? They don't believe the coaching. So they don't believe you. They don't believe the coaching process, or they don't believe in themselves. It's like, well, okay, maybe you help this one and you help that one, but I'm worse. Like I'm probably the worst client you could ever work with. So they don't really believe in themselves. So they don't trust you, they don't trust coaching, and they don't trust themselves. They're not going to become a client. So what needs to happen is, by the end of this conversation, they trust you. By the end of this conversation, they trust coaching. And by the end of this conversation, they trust that this can actually help me too. And unless you get those 3 yeses, they're not going to say yes to hiring you. Right? So you need those 3 yeses. In fact, there's 7 yeses that you need before someone hires you. but I'm going to give you those three because they're the most important. So the three yeses, they need to say yes to you, they need to say yes to themselves, and they need to say yes to the coaching process. And in that way, they'll actually become, yeah, and they need to say yes to the destination. That's what I really want. And yeah, so, okay. Let me show you how it's done. Let's quickly get into how it's done. We've still got another 30 minutes, and I'll walk you through how we do it. And then what we'll do is we'll do an implementation session as well. Today is more like, this is going to be a resource, a video you can go back and watch anytime you want to. Let's say if you need to go through this training again, you can. So I'm going to show you how to do it, but we're not really going to do so in implementation today. What we'll do is we can do an implementation session next session, so we can actually, okay, let's get it done. How many of you just type, let's type in get it done into the chat if you want to do the next session with me on getting it done. Just type in the chat, get it done, Joan, get it done, let's get it done. Okay, get it done, Zuri, get it done. Okay, perfect. Ritu, Coach Pushpa, Sharon, get it done. Yes, get it done. So we'll do a session on getting it done, but I'm going to show you how we do it first. Okay. So this is how it's done. This is how it's done. And it's very, very simple. It's like not complicated. So the first step, this is the simple Dream Team 100, Coach 100 phase. Very, very simple. Step one is we need to OPN. So OPN stands for OPN. Outreach to your own personal network, which means networks that you have in your own life already. So this could be your friends, could be your family, people that you've worked in, past employers, past colleagues, anyone that's in your personal network right now. Reach out to them, and all you do is you're going to say, hey, you know, I've just completed my coaching certification, and you know, I'm looking for a couple of people to help them to achieve some of their goals, like losing weight or finding a relationship or something like that. Are you interested in that? Seriously, I'm not joking. Like, you got to have the courage just to do that and just send it out and not worry about it. And someone's going to say, oh my God, I really wanted to lose weight this year. Maybe she could help me. And then someone's going to send a message back to you and say, yeah, I'm interested to find out more about it. I'm not going to say yes right now. And by the way, you're not looking for a yes. You're looking for I'm interested to find out more. And say, okay, great. And then you're going to say, okay, why don't we hop on a conversation and we'll do the first coaching session to find out what it's about and see if I can help you or not. Can't promise anything, but let's see if I can help you. And then basically, then you and then you say, does this time work for you or does this time work for you? Does it work for you today or does it work for you tomorrow? And it needs to be today or tomorrow, not next week. That's really what we do. So we basically reach out to the people, say, hey, I've just started my own a coaching package. I'm going to be working with 5 amazing people who want to achieve an amazing result in the next 12 months. And I just thought about you. Would you be interested? That's it. Like, don't overcomplicate it. And the person's, what's the worst thing that can happen? They're going to say, F off. And by the way, they're not going to say that, but some people might. And it doesn't matter because they're just, you know, in a bad mood anyway. Right. And it wasn't you. It was just like they're just feeling crap about their life. They probably need the coaching, but they can't even admit that. Right. So don't worry about those people. And some people are going to say, oh my God, I was just thinking today, oh God, my life is just my relationship with my spouse. We just had another argument and the kids like, oh my God, like maybe she could help me with my problem. And she's going to say, oh my God, would you do a coaching session with me? I really want to talk to you. And then that person's going to be like, it could be the right one, right? So just reach out to the people you know. Don't overthink this. Like, this is what we do. We make too many filters in our mind. We think, oh, this one, no. And then we filter for them. Don't filter for other people. Let them filter themselves. Oh, no, this one's not qualified. Oh, no, this one. What do you mean this one's not qualified? Every single person is qualified to be coached because they're all having problems in their life and they would love to get a solution for it. Who are you to say they're not qualified? Let them decide it, right? I remember I did a training not very long ago. And I remember there was one person in the training and they were just looking. They were just sitting there for the whole session. They didn't interact in the chat at all. They were just looking there and I thought, oh my God, this person's just really judging me, right? They joined my program. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the heck happened? It's like, I had no idea. Like, if you told me out of all the people that attended that training, that would have been the last one I would have ever thought would join my program. But they were just sitting there in silence and just digesting the whole thing without interacting. And when I made the offer, they said, yeah, I'm in. And they joined the program. I couldn't believe it. So, like, if you told my mind, who would you choose? I would say, oh my God, not that person. That person scared me, right? And actually, they turned out to be a really, really nice person, right? So I just misread it. I didn't read it right. I didn't read the room properly, right? So there may be someone in your life right now, and you might be thinking, oh no, my sister would never be interested in my coaching. Oh no, this person would never be interested in coaching. Or this person would never. And we filter for them, like less of the filtering. Like, let them filter themselves. Like, send out the message to them and let them choose. And by the way, when you send this message out to them, they may not be the one that gets back to you and says, hey, I need the help. They may say, hey, thanks for sending this message. Actually, I'm okay, but I do know someone that does. And those sometimes can lead to referrals. So don't filter it. Reach out to your network. So your personal net, then the next one, then there's other people's networks. That could be LinkedIn, YouTube, social media, WhatsApp groups, different, memberships, different societies. It could be offline, online. I used to get a lot of my clients offline. So I would do some events outside of, in fact, when I first started coaching, I actually started to do events. In fact, one of our coaches here, Marina, she would do some of these events in a restaurant and a cafe, and people would come, and like she got a couple clients like that. So, it doesn't always have to be online. It could be, I remember one time I went to a Toastmaster. In fact, I was in Nepal at the time. I was at Nepal, like visiting there. I love Nepal. And one of my friends in Nepal, he was a member of Toastmasters, and he said to me, hey, Brash, I'm going to Toastmasters. I've got a meeting. Do you want to come along? Hey, maybe you could talk about coaching there, because, he knew I did all this kind of stuff. So I said, yeah, I'd love to go. I went to this Toastmaster thing. I gave a 5-minute speech, and it was all about coaching and transformation and everything. Some of the people in the audience, they loved it. One of them came up to me and started talking to me after, and she said she was an owner of a big hotel chain there in Nepal. He said, oh my God, like, could you coach me? Like, this coaching thing, can you tell me more about it? And she became a client. And she was like, she owns all these hotel chains in Nepal. Like, I didn't know, but I was just out there and started talking about coaching. So many times things like that happen, right? So it could be online, offline, it could be LinkedIn, it could be social media, it could be just a WhatsApp group, a Telegram group, just anywhere there's people, you can just say, hey, send out an invitation and a little message, and don't worry about the no's. Don't worry about the no's. Remember, yes lives in that land of the no's. So there's going to be so many no's. But the yes is in there. The yes is in there. It's amongst all those no's. So other people's networks, reach out to people. Send them a message. Simple invitation to what are we inviting them to? The conversation. We're inviting them to a Dream Quest conversation. We talked about what that is, where they are, where they want to be. Then at the end of that conversation, if and only if you would like to coach them and they inspire you, and only if they're inspired by you, and if it's like a good fit, it's like, okay, hey, I think this is a good fit for me and this is a good fit for you. Let's do the coaching. And there you can either do your one-to-one coaching or you can do your group coaching. Either, it doesn't matter. You can do one-to-one coaching or group coaching, right? And then what do you do next? You help them, coach them, get them a result, and then when they get a result, you ask for referrals. And you also get a testimonial, and you get referrals, and in this way you're able to get more referrals like that. So it's like a flywheel, right? It's like a flywheel. So and then you connect to the network, invite, get more referrals like that. That's how it works. So that's very, very simple. You don't need a website for this. You don't need Instagram. You don't need YouTube. You don't need anything. You just need to reach out to people, normal people. I'll tell you another story. Some of you have probably heard this before, but I just want to share it with you because, but by the way, this has happened to me hundreds of times and other coaches as well. One time I was on a flight I was in India at the time. I was going from Delhi to Mumbai to work with a client, a coaching client. And at that time I was doing a lot of one-to-one coaching at that time. So I remember I got on the plane. It's about a 2.5 hour flight, So I sat down. There was a lady sitting next to me, and we just got chit chatting, like, how are you, politely. And then, I said, where are you going? So I'm going Mumbai. I actually sell wine and stuff like that. I said, oh, that's cool. Do you enjoy that? She said, no, I really don't enjoy it. She says, I don't even drink. It's okay. And then I said, what would you love to do? And then she started telling me about how she was a singer and she'd been singing since she was a kid and she loves it and she's won competitions. And I said, what would be your dream and what would you love? So I would love to do that, professionally. I'd love to be a professional singer, but I just don't know how to do that. And what would that mean to you if you could do that? Oh, that would mean anyway. We started talking a long time. By the time the plane was landing, she was like, "Oh my God, she said to me, like, this was the best conversation I've ever had in my life. Like, I'm so grateful to you. I've never shared these things with anyone before. Like, thank you so much." And she was so grateful to be able to share her dreams with someone she'd never shared before. And I was doing my deep level listening and really listening and asking, client directed questions. And she was like, and then she was embarrassed. She said, like, "I'm sorry, Brad, I don't even know what you do." It was all. She said it was the best conversation in life, but I didn't even say anything to her. It was all about her. People love talking about themselves. They love talking about their dreams, right? And she said, I don't even know what you do. So I said, well, I'm actually a coach. I basically help people to achieve their goals and dreams like yours. She said, oh my God, do you think you could help me? I said, yeah, that's what I do. I would love to help you. She said, okay. We were about to land and said, okay, I got to talk to you. Let's land and let's talk when we land. So we went to the baggage. The baggage was going. She said to me, Braj, I don't know what you charge, but whatever it is, I just want to work with you, Braj. Like, you're the only person that's understood me. I really believe you can help me. I want to work with you. And then she became a client, and then she started to sing. And anyway, it was a great story, But I've literally, that was a complete stranger, never met at any time in my life. So it could be a conversation. I remember Ritu told me a story when she was in the lift and she had a conversation with someone in the lift and they became a client, right? So it's the conversations that you're having around. It's just conversations, deep, meaningful conversations. That's what we're doing. We're having deep, meaningful conversations that people will never forget for the rest of their lives, right? That's the kind of conversation that we're talking about. Remember, clients are created. When I sat down to that woman next to me, she wasn't thinking, I want to become your client. Like, that was the last thing that was on her mind. She was thinking, who's this stranger? I don't even know who this person is. Can I even trust this person? By the end of the conversation, she says, I don't know what you charge, but I'm going to pay you because I want to do this, right? So clients are created. Clients are created. They're not attracted. We don't attract clients, We create clients through meaningful, powerful, deep conversations that really talk to a person's spirit and soul. It really talks to the pain that they're suffering with, and it really talks to the dreams and aspirations that they're hoping for. That's why, in one sense, you do not need a niche. The niche is discovered on the spot. The niche is discovered in the coaching session, and it's personalized. And the problem is with a niche is that no niche is really truly personalized. Only in a conversation can you really personalize the niche, because in that conversation they talk about, is it the relationship that's the problem? Is it the career that's the problem? Is it the health that's the problem? And so what you're actually doing is you're creating the niche in the coaching. What does niche mean? Niche means your problem. Right? Now, what does a niche mean? A niche means a group of people who have got the same problem. That's a niche, right? So a group of people who've got the same problem, but no one's got exactly the same problem. So when you have a one-to-one, deep, meaningful conversation, you can find out exactly what their niche is, which is their problem. You can find out exactly what their dreams are, which is the result that they want. And you can show them that your coaching is the vehicle that can actually get them from there to there. There is nothing more powerful than having these conversations, and you don't need a niche for these conversations. You just need to get into conversations. And the more conversations that you have, the more clients you will have. It's just really that simple. And I would say, if you're good at this, if you have 10 conversations, 4 or 5 of those people are going to become clients. If you have 10 conversations, meaningful, deep ones that really mean, and maybe in the beginning, maybe it's just 2 or 3 out of 10, or maybe even in the beginning, it's 1 out of 10. when I first started doing this seriously, I was having like 3 to 5 conversations a day. And then later on, I took it up to an hour. Then I was having like sometimes 7 conversations every single day, like with people. I was on the phone. I remember I was being on the phone all day. And I remember one time I was like even training, like, and I was like, I would have so many phone calls that I would have to like finish the training. Then lunch, my whole lunch would be just conversations with people. Then I'd do the training. Then at the end of the training, I'd get back into conversations with people, and I'd be literally having conversations with people all day about their goals and dreams and problems and stuff like that. And I would feel my coaching practice was just like full. I had to get other coaches to help me to coach because we had too many clients, right? But they all came from meaningful conversations about their pain and their dreams. And that's the key here. That's the key here. So and that's coaching 101. Coaching 101 is like, where are you? Where do you want to be? And basically what happens when they become a client, you just continue that process of coaching them. Because now the first session is, okay, where you want to be. And then when they actually become a client, then you go more into detail and you really flush that out and you really kind of like go deeper into it about the 6 B's, become, be free, belong, behave, behold, etc. And you do all the beings and you make that goal even more juicy and even more desirable. And then it's just... And then you're just coaching them every single week to actually take that journey. So this first session with them for free is such a meaningful thing. So it's just really being committed to have these deep, meaningful conversations, right? And there's 2 ways you can have these conversations. You can do them one-to-one, but you can also do them one-to-many. Doing one-to-many is a little bit difficult because that would be a workshop. But so you must start with one-to-one. You must start with one-to-one. If you can't do it one-to-one, you can forget the group thing, because it's like the group is the evolution of the one-to-one. In the one-to-one, you really find out what to say, what to talk about, how to really listen deeply to people's desires, dreams, and pains. In the one-to-one, you really learn a lot. So that when you go and do your groups, you can bring that one-to-one into the group then, right? So there is an evolutionary process. So the first step is, do these one-to-one Dream Quest sessions. This is a more advanced level. The next level you can also offer people like a free guide or a free blueprint or a we call them lead magnets, right? So you can reach out to people and you can say, hey, I've got this thing on how to improve your relationships. Do you want it? It's the same thing. It's an invitation. Hey, I'm going to a party tomorrow night at someone's house. Do you want to come? That's all we're doing. We're just inviting people to something cool, right? I'm going out for an ice cream and I'm going to go watch a movie. Do you want to come? Right? So I've got this blueprint on how to improve your relationships, especially if your husband or your wife thinking about leaving you, don't know what to do about it. Do you want it? And then people say, yeah, no, right? Or they just ignore you, right? And then they read this, and then after they get this, you say, hey, by the way, if they say yes to this, what does it mean? It means they have that problem. So then you can say, hey, if you like, would you like to have a one-to-one coaching? And then you can then do a one-to-one coaching. So that's another way you can use. So for example, if I'm doing social media, I'll do this all the time. I used to do it a lot on Facebook when I was on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook now, but when I was, I used to create like a lead magnet on something, a topic that my client would be interested in. I'd say, hey, I've got this thing, 501 powerful coaching questions. Do you want it? And then people say, yeah, I want it. Yeah, I want it. Now, if people say yes to 501 coaching questions, what does it mean? It means they're interested in coaching. And then what I would do is I'd follow up with them and say, hey, you got my book on 501 coaching questions. How was it? It was great. Yeah. Would you like to have a conversation about how to, become a professional coach? We've got a training starting next week. I'm looking for 3 people. Are you interested? Most people would say no. But then I would always have 3 or 4 or 5 people that say, hey, yeah, I am interested actually. And I would give them a special deal or something like that, a special discount if they join now. And that's how we get people into the training. So it's a slightly different way, but you can use that as well. By the way, I have these already I've got some of these already created for you on relationship, career. I've got some on relationship. I've got on career. I've got on life coaching, and I think I've got 4 of these already pre-done. If you want one of and you can customize them, you can put your name on it. I give you permission to put your name on this if you want them. So I'll show you how to get them at the end. And you can use those post it out. What I recommend though is just slightly change it. So, because it's like, if everyone here says like, you're all sending them out to the same people, like, hold on a minute, is this her book, his book? I recommend changing the cover, maybe adding an article in there of your own, and just like maybe the front page, just changing it slightly a little bit. So you can slightly customize it. I'm going to give you the Word document. So you can go and change the picture. You can change, if you want to take, what you can do is you can copy it, put it into ChatGPT and say, hey, I want you to redesign this and reword it in my own language. And it'll give you a better version of this version, right? And you can make it your own. So you can use that. I'll show you how to do that later on. And then you can use that as a lead magnet. So you could use, I've got them for relationship coaching. I've got them for career coaching. I've got them for life coaching. I can't remember. I've got one more. I can't remember what it was. It was, where is it? Yeah. I've got all these different things I actually created. So when I give you this document tomorrow, you just have to click on the link and it'll give you these workbooks that you can, and they're all docs as well. So they're docs. You can edit them however you like. So I'm giving you quite a few documents at the end of this. So if you want them, just you can in the video, underneath the video, you'll see there's some links to get this stuff. I'm giving you some invitation scripts as well. Like, what kind of invitation scripts you can use to invite people. Okay, so that's the first step. The next step, the third level, which is the highest level, I don't recommend doing this to begin with. You really need to master the conversation first. Master that conversation, not master it, but at least you should, have, 20, 30 conversations before you're thinking about doing a workshop. Because if you don't have the conversations first, what's going to happen is it's like you'll go into these workshops and it's like you won't know what to do and you won't even know what you're actually doing with people because you haven't really had conversations. You need to get a lot of data from people, of conversations about what they really struggle with, what their pains really are, what their hopes and dreams really are. And then once you have this information and data and you've like really understood people, then when you do the workshop, it's going to make so much sense because now you know what people need and what people actually want. So it's the same process. We do the Dream Quest workshop, and then at the end of the workshop, I by the way, I love this. You basically, instead of inviting people to a lead magnet, you invite people to a workshop. I call it the Dream Quest workshop. And then in that Dream Quest workshop, you basically give everything you can. You just really help people, and you'll help people to understand where they are, where they're stuck, what would be something that could achieve their dreams, whether that's relationship, and this can be customized to relationship coaching, business coaching, health coaching. It can be customized. The Dream Quest workshop it could even just be general life coaching in the 4 areas of life. And then at the end of the session, the great thing is you're not selling anything. So there's no pressure. There's no performance thing. At the end, you just say, hey, did you like this session? Would you like to help to achieve these things? I'm offering I have a few places for a Dream Quest coaching session where we can figure out more, personalize your goals and dreams here. If you'd like one of these sessions, they're completely free. They're worth $5,000, but I've got like a few of these and I can offer you one, and you give people a link to your calendar and they basically book in your calendar and then you do this Dream Quest session with them. It's amazing. This is how I did it for years. Well, this is where I started. I started here, then I moved here, and then I moved here into the Dream Quest workshops, right? And I did it like this for years. Now my coaching business was always thriving because of it, right? And I was doing group coaching, one-to-one coaching as well. And then now I don't even do now the next level after this is when you get really good at these, you can sell directly from the workshop and bring people directly into your program. But that's more advanced because selling on a workshop is not as easy as selling in a one-to-one. But that will be the 4th level. But you shouldn't try that now. Like go through the process, learn the ABC first. Yeah. Okay. What's been the most useful thing? Type in the chat. I feel like I'm just talking. This is what's been the most useful thing from the session so far? We've got like 10 minutes left. So what I think we're going to be able to do is I'll do another session. Next session is going to be on application. Today is really the theory, the knowledge, the wisdom behind it and everything. The next session is going to be all about implementation. Okay. Okay, probably the last one. Yeah, the money mindset. It's all great. Yeah, okay. Conversations, follow the process, reach out to your network, start. Yeah, start. Okay. So, I'm gonna give you all. By the way, I'll give you all these scripts and everything. What you can also do with these scripts is you can put them into ChatGPT if you have it, and you can just ask ChatGPT to customize it a little bit more. You can tweak it. You can make it more of your own if you want to. But I'm going to give you, um, all these different scripts that you can use. Career opportunity. There's different versions of this you can have. I've literally got hundreds of these invitation scripts, but the most important thing is just keep it simple. I've also got downloads for you as well for relationship coaching, career coaching, etc. I've also got some documents like before let's say if someone says, yes, I want to have a coaching session with you. What you can do is you can send this document to them before the coaching session. So there's some questions for them, and it gets them prepared for the coaching session that they're going to do with you. And what it does, it puts them into a mood of, oh wow, this person is really a coach, they're professional and know what they're doing. So when they come into your coaching session, it's like they're already realized that, oh wow, you are a professional coach. And just having that frame really helps them to respect the session more than if you don't do anything before the coaching session. They might be thinking, who is this person anyway? I really don't know what to expect, and is it going to be okay? Am I going to be safe? So when you send the pre-reflection document before the Dream Quest session, it kind of lets them know, okay, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is the experience of the person. Oh, so this is actually a proper session. And what they do is when they come into the session, they can relax because now they know, oh, I'm actually safe. Yeah. So I recommend you can use that document. It's already done for you. If you want to customize it, you can. I'm also going to give you the Dream Quest coaching session script, so and this script is really just to guide you. It's not there to, you shouldn't really be going through this word by word, because that just sounds weird and it sounds like you're just reading something. Like this, you should read this like 100 times. Embody it. Don't say it word for word, but just really kind of like read it 100 times, and just really kind of, not to memorize it, but to understand the flow of it. So it's not about word by word memory. It's not about that. It's about familiarization of it. And then what you can have it is as you do the session, you can just have it, you can print it out. This is what I do. I still do this. Just print it out and just have it there. So it's kind of like you don't get lost, but it's not there to read. It's there to kind of just like, oh yeah, I'm on that section right now, because it's section by section. Okay. So I'll give you the script. This is the most amazing thing that I'm actually giving you. It's probably one of the most precious things that I'm going to give you. It's called the Irresistible Offer Doc. The Irresistible Offer Doc is how do you, what's in your 3-month coaching package? Like what are you actually going to give me over these 3 months? What do I actually get? And we've done really, really well to write this in a way that if you just slide it across and you give it to the person, they can literally read it. And at the end of reading, they can say, yeah, I want it. That's what we've done. So you don't really even need to talk about your coaching offer so much. This kind of does the heavy lifting for you, and they can read it in their own time. So we're going to give that to you. And then we've even given you a coaching agreement. So when they actually do say yes and become a client, what you can actually do is you can give them this agreement, which is like, okay, this is what's going to be involved. This is the agreement. This is the fee. This is blah, blah, blah. So a coaching agreement. So we've given you these 5 main tools that you can download. So when I give you this slide deck, just take the slide deck, and it's already got the links pre-built into it, and you just need to click on that and you can download all these things. Is that cool? Just say, yeah, oh my God, that's so cool. I spent a lot of time and energy, like 20 years doing this. Right? So this is 20 years of experience of selling coaching and, helping coaches. There's a lot of value here, right? Okay. We got 5 minutes. Okay, let me quickly go through the ground rules when you're doing these coaching sessions. Okay, so what you're doing when you're having these one-to-one coaching sessions with people is you're revealing the gap, right? So basically, this is where I am right now. This is where I want to be, and we're actually creating a gap, and that gap creates tension, right? So this is where I am. This is where I'm stuck. This is where I want to be. It creates tension. And then we're asking questions to reveal the gap and build tension. And then we're showing them how the coaching can actually close this gap. So this is why people hire you, because of that tension of where they are, where they want to be. The way we do this is we don't tell people, like, you want this, you don't want this. We don't do that. What we do is we ask people, what's your pain? How is it impacting you? We ask, how long have you had this for? We ask, if things don't change, what's the worst thing that could happen? We ask. And then we ask about the glory, what's the dream? We ask, what would you love to have instead? And then we ask. So we use the process of coaching. We never tell people what to do in the coaching session. It's all about them. So very important. So we're using coaching process. These are the things we don't do in this conversation. We don't give advice and we don't give solutions, right? We don't tell people what to do. We don't create strategies. We don't create... This is very important. The worst thing that you can do in one of these coaching sessions is say, hey, would you like to create a strategy and action plan to fix this? Please don't do that. If you do that, this is what will happen if you do that. They say, oh my God, thanks for that strategy. Let me go and try it. And then you say, would you like to become a client? And say, no, I don't want to become a client. Let me go and try those things that you told me to do. And then they're going to go and try it. They're going to fail because it takes more than just a few things to do. And they're going to think, I tried these things that Braj told me to do and I didn't do them because I procrastinate. It doesn't work. It's the worst thing that you can possibly do. Do not give people strategies. Do not give people advice. Do not try to fix people in this session. Hear what their pain is. Hear what their dreams are. Right? How do I know? How do I know this is true? I have done thousands of these conversations. Thousands of them. Okay? Thousands. Literally thousands. Okay? And some of these conversations, I did help people. And at the end of the session, this is what they said to me. And sometimes these sessions were like 2 hours long because I felt compassion. I just like, okay, I'm just going to help them. And so I'd hear the thing and I said, I'm going to give them some strategies. I'm just going to give everything I can to help them. And I would help them and everything. And then at the end they say, so if I could help you to achieve this, would you like this? They say, oh, this is what they say to me at the end. You know what, Braj? You are amazing. You're so cool. I mean, Braj, you're amazing. Like, this was the best conversation I've ever had. Like, you're amazing, Braj. Like, thank you so much. I say, do you want to become like, well, you know what, Braj? I think I've got enough to work on right now. Let me go and do these things. Let me see if I can get this working. And then then I'll get back to you. I don't know how many of these conversations, maybe I did this maybe 20 or 30 times. Not one of those people ever became a client. And they're the ones that told me it was the best. And they're the ones that were most excited about the session. And probably those people never did anything and never got a result because they didn't have the support of the coaching. It's the worst thing that you can do. I'm not joking. So do not fix people in a session. And I know you're coaches. I know you have a heart to help. And you know you have compassion. But believe me, that's not compassion. That's blowing on a broken arm. Like, imagine I've got a broken arm. It's like, does it feel better? Oh yeah, that feels so much better. How does it feel now? Oh, it feels better. That's not helping. Like, you got to get it set and you got to get it properly, properly fixed, and then put a plaster on it so it heals. Blowing on it is not going to help, right? And if you try and fix someone's problem in the session, they're going to love you. But they're also going to realize that, hey, this ain't practical. And they're never going to work with you. Believe me. I've done this too many times to and this is not just me. Like, even other coaches have told me this 1,000 times as well, that please don't do it. So please don't fix people. Please don't. Okay, let me do the transformational coaching on you right now. Let me show you how great I am. Okay, relax, breathe. Let that tension flow out of your body right now. Don't do that. I'm just joking, but like, don't, really, seriously. So don't create strategies, don't talk like I'm talking too much right now, but when you're doing that, don't talk too much. Like, ask the question, let them do the talking. Let them do the talking. Let them do the talking. This is what we should do in the conversation. Discover their desire, their reason why, what it would mean to them. Like, find out, the dream behind the dream. Identify the pain and the roadblocks. Like, if you don't solve this, how will it impact you? What are the roadblocks stopping you from moving forward? What else is stopping you moving forward? Discover the cost of if you don't take action and if you don't resolve this, how will it impact your relationships? How will it impact your health? How will it impact your finances if you don't fix this? What's the cost of inaction, right? Like sometimes people think, oh, this works for business coaching, but it doesn't work for relationship coaching. You have no idea what you're talking about. In relationship coaching, there is a huge cost, and you need to find out if you don't fix this relationship, how much will it cost you? How will it impact your relationships with your children? How will it impact your prestige? How will it impact your status? How will it impact, your own self, perception of who you are? Oh, wow, yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, it's gonna impact my children. It's gonna impact, they're not gonna have a father or a mother anymore. It's going to be like, that could affect them in the future. It's going to, impact my finances. It's like, I'm not going to have that support that I used to have anymore. Wow, that's huge. And then the divorce and all that that costs a lot. And then, imagine you have to divide the whole thing, and it's like, it's devastating emotionally. That is like, so if you didn't have to go through all that, what would that be worth? If you didn't have to go through all that and you could fix it and you could make it beautiful again, what would that be worth? So you need to find out. Same thing with health. Like if you don't fix this, like 5 years from now, how is that going to impact you? Like, oh, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Right? Okay, what's that worth if you could fix it? Right? So what's the cost of inaction? So if you're doing business coaching, obviously you can show that, this is the ROI. But if you're doing relationship coaching or health coaching or career coaching, you can also show the cost of inaction as well. We need to inspire certainty with your program. There's a way we do that. We need to listen 80%, talk 20%. They do all the talking, we do the listening. And you just got to follow the process. You just this has been done 1,000 times already before you, and it works. And hundreds of other coaches have done this before you, and it worked for them too. Like, you're not different in that way, but you just got to follow the process long enough and professionally enough to make it work, right? Silence is your superpower. So we use a lot in the session. We use a lot of silence. We give a lot of space. Show up as a coach. You've learned how to do that in our training already. So you've already learned how to be a coach already. You've already learned the skills of presence and holding space and listening deeply. You literally have everything you need to be able to do this at a very high level already. Like, you've already been through 3 to 6 months, some of you even more, of coaching, proper coaching, practice and learning. So just use your coaching skills when you're doing this. Use your coaching presence. These are some of the beliefs that people have before they hire you, right? They need to believe that you fully understand their situation. They need to believe that you really understand them. You're probably the only one. They need to believe that you have a solution to their painful problem. And I'll show you how to do that when we talk about the coaching. They need to believe that the value that they get from your program is much more than the investment that they make to join your program. Like, if your program is $10,000, they need to believe that your program is worth at least $100,000 or maybe $20,000. But it can't be like your program's $10,000, but it's worth $10,000. No, it needs to be 2x, 5x, 10x. The more they believe that your program is worth more than their investment, the more they're willing to pay. Yeah. They need to believe that the cost of not doing anything, they need to believe that the cost of not changing is a lot more than the investment into your program. This is the belief that they need to walk out of that coaching session with. Or by the end of this coaching session you have with them, they need to have this belief that the investment in this coaching program is so much less than the cost of me not doing anything. Oh my God, I just have to do this, right? They also need to believe that they can't do this on their own, right? That they can't do this. If they think, oh, you know what, hey, thanks, Brad, I could do this on my own, they're not going to work with you. They also need to believe that you are the best choice for them. And by the way, just so you know, when you can articulate a person's problem better than they can, they will assume that you also have the solution which will be able to solve their problem. So just the fact that you've gone in there and you've fully listened deeply at the deepest levels, they will start to believe that, oh, maybe this person's the only person that's actually truly understood me. and I think that this person can really help me because you're the only one. They also need to believe that they can do this with your help. So two things. One thing is, I can't do this without you. I can't do this without you. And the other belief is, I can do this with you. And that's called, so there's a certain, this is called the sweet spot, right? So there's a sweet spot there. There's a sweet spot right there. So if they're so confident that they can do this on their own, they're not going to work with you. And if they're also so they doubt themselves so much that they think, well, you know what, even with you I couldn't do this. Both of those, we need to bring them into that sweet spot where it's like, yeah, I can't do it on my own, but I can do it with you. So so we need to be able to assess that and analyze, where are they? So if they believe that they can't do this even with you, there's certain things you can do in the coaching session, say, to help them to bring that in. And if they believe that they can do it without you, there's certain things you can say and questions you can ask that bring them back in as well. Oh, no, I probably couldn't actually do this without you. So we need to make sure that there is a certain part of the conversation where we analyze, are they in that sweet spot or not? And we call this this is the buying zone, right? This is the buying zone. Okay. All right. They also need to believe that your program is high ticket and high value. They also need to believe that your program is high ticket and high value. And we can do that. What we do is sometimes something called price anchoring. So what I used to do, especially I would do this in my workshops, where at the very beginning of my workshop, I would talk a little bit about my life and what I would do. And I would talk about clients that I work with. And I would say, and this was my coaching fee. And it would always be quite a high coaching fee. And I recommend every single one of you should definitely have a high ticket coaching package. Even if you never sell them, you should have one, right? And it could be a VIP coaching package that you've got, and you can charge $25,000 for it, or even $50,000 for it. And you can let people know that, I actually have a VIP coaching package, which I sell for $50,000. And it's true. You should definitely have a coaching package, which is 25 grand, 50 grand. It doesn't mean you have to sell it. Every now and then you may sell one. But people should know that you have a high ticket coaching package, and that's called price anchoring, so that people say, oh, wow, you have a $50,000, you work with VIP clients at $50,000, and that includes a VIP weekend, and you do some work for them, and you can create a VIP coaching package. Like I have one. Mine is $50,000, right? So by the way, if you want me to help you personally and do a VIP weekend with me, and I come and stay in a hotel with you and we do all the work together, just let me know. It's $50K, right? And it's a guaranteed result, right? We guarantee the results, otherwise you don't pay. So you can have a VIP coaching package, and then that's called price marination. So or price anchoring. So in my workshop, sometimes I used to say, in fact, one of the things I used to teach people is like, you should charge high ticket for your coaching program, and you should charge $5,000, $10,000. In fact, I have a $50,000 coaching package. It's a VIP coaching package, so everyone should have a high ticket coaching package. And then I'll just say that, and then I won't say anything else. But then now, when I get onto a conversation with someone, it's like, oh my God, this person charges $50,000 for the coaching package. So it's like now it's already in their mind that you're not just a cheapy coach, like you're a high ticket coach. So now when you give them the price of $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever it is you're charging, it's like, oh, only $5,000? Oh, I thought you were going to say it was like $50,000. Oh, I can afford that, right? But if you come off, like, yeah, it's $100 a session, and it's like, when you say at the end of the coaching call it's $5,000, say $5,000. I just thought it was going to be $100 for a session. They're going to be disappointed. So if you can do a little bit of persuasion before they even have a conversation with you, that can go a long way, because then when it comes to your offer and you make your price, it's like they're not shocked. Anyway, there's ways to do that. Especially if you're doing workshops and so on, you can do like that. But that's more of an advanced skill. Don't worry about that too much in the beginning. But if I'm doing workshops, I want to do that, right? Okay. Okay. This is what we're doing in the coaching session. the first thing we do is we find out what's the big dream. Where would you love to be? We start off there. In fact, we start this side. We say, okay, what would you love? What's the big dream? Then we find out, okay, where are you right now? What's your current reality? And then we find out what are the roadblocks stopping you from going there. And then the fourth part of the session is we show them that our how coaching system is the solution that removes resistance, creates a winning game plan so they can achieve their big dreams. And we show them how our system actually is the solution to their problem. So that's really how the coaching session goes. And this is the coaching session. Here we go. This is the old penultimate. I call this the client enrollment framework. This is the Dream Quest session. There's really 9 parts to this. The first part is we're going to frame the session. You know, we do build rapport with the client, potential client. We show the agenda. This is what we're going to do in the coaching session. Then we give them the reason why are they there today. Why did they choose to have this session with you? We want to explore what motivated them to get on this call with you today, right? Believe me, everyone has a hidden motivation. Oh, nothing, I'm just curious. That's BS. No one gets on a conversation with you if they're just curious. People get on a conversation because they say that because they're afraid that you're going to try and sell them something. But they actually want to know, maybe this can actually help me or not. So you need to find the inner, you know, what's the reason why you're really here, right? Then part 2 is all about stretching the gap. What's the result that you want? What's the big dream? The next step is reality. Where are you right now? What's your pain? How is it impacting you? And then the roadblocks. What are the things stopping you from getting from where you are to where you want to be? What are those things stopping you? And then the third step is this is where we talk about the offer. This is where we make our offer. We summarize the essence. So we summarize what they've shared. Then we do the 3-question loop. And then we show them the route, 6 magic powers. We show them that how our coaching process is the thing that's going to help them to get the result that we want. And these are the 6 magic powers: problem, prescription, promise, program, process, and price. And then at the end of that, they're either going to say yes or no. And it's never a no. I always like to say it's a not now or it's a yes. So it's either a yes, I'm in, or it's a not now, maybe later. So that's kind of how it works. And then if it's later, we'll put them back into a flywheel, so they can have a conversation with us again. And I cannot tell you how many times I've had conversations with people, and the first time round it was let me think about it, and then 6 months later I had another conversation with them and they were in. And sometimes I've had conversation with like people 3 or 4 times and before they actually became clients. So when someone just says I'll think about it or maybe not now, it doesn't mean no forever. It just means like maybe now's not quite the right time. But I've literally had hundreds of conversations with people where, you know, it wasn't the first conversation, it was the second one, the third one, sometimes even the fourth one. Probably not more than that, but normally the second or the third conversations, they're very short. Like normally the first conversation is like an hour, maybe sometimes 90 minutes, because you're really finding out. And the second conversation is very important, because when someone books a second conversation with you, they already know all the details already. They already know the price. They already know everything. They just like want a little confirmation with you. And so sometimes they say, hey, can we have a little chat? Those are the best. Like you should dive on those. If someone wants a follow-up chat with you after the first chat, you know they're very serious because they already know everything. They know the full details. They just want to quickly, maybe they just got a little doubt that they just want to reconfirm with you. So sometimes those conversations sometimes are just like 15, 20 minutes. And it's just like, I'm in, but Brad, you just had this one question, you know, and maybe they might ask you for a little discount or something like that if you could do it, or maybe they just might have a concern and it's just, they want to say yeah. So those second and third calls are so powerful, and they always, I would say 90% of the time lead to the client because they just have a couple questions that they just want to confirm. So never like I see a lot of coaches, what they'll do is they'll neglect their follow-up. They'll spend an hour, 90 minutes, and it was like, oh, I'll think about it. And then they reach out and say, hey, can I have another little chat with you? And they just ignore it. Like, do you like throwing money away? like, do you like throwing $5,000 away down the toilet? Like, just, flush it away. Go ahead. Like it's poop. Go ahead. Do that if you want. Your loss, man. Your loss and someone else's loss as well, because they could have got that transformation working with you too, right? So those second calls are so powerful. Like I will say, I would say 90, probably more than 90%, 95% maybe even, of those second calls lead to clients. Yeah, so yeah, follow the process. Follow the process. I'm not going to do this now because we've run out of time. But so what I'm going to do in the next session, I'm actually going to walk you through. So we're going to do a couple more of these. So next session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how to actually do the conversation, how to actually do this step by step. I'll walk you through the whole process. I'll also give you the script. We've got the scripts here, right? So we've got all the script, like rapport, what to say, roadmap, what to say, reason, what to say, you know, results, reality, roadblocks, what to say, and even the 6 magic powers, what to say, right? You know, problem. I'm going to walk you through the whole process. We'll have to do that in a separate session because we've kind of ran out of time today. But I think we went through the whole program. We went through the whole thing. At least the theory side of it. Now we just got to do the implementation piece. How many of you would like to attend the second part of this? Just type into the chat number 2. Who wants to do?
I would like to.
Who would like to do number 2? Who wants to do a number 2? Okay, go and do a number 2 and then come back. Okay, no, I'm just joking. Okay, that was pretty gross. That was. Okay, T would like to do number 2. Okay, great. Zahir would like to do number 2. Zuri, Marina, Ritu. Okay, all of you. Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll do a number 2 on this one. Was this useful today? Did you get some value out of this? It's like, okay, yeah, I'm excited to get out there now and reach out to people. Yes, Carmesia. Okay, perfect. Great to see you, Carmesia. Okay, Sharon, amazing. I'm going to put this there for you to watch the recording as well, so you can go back and watch this anytime you want. You'll have lifetime access to it as well. Okay, so just go through it as many times as you want. Keep it with you. Confused about the strategy part? Don't worry. What we're going to do is, like, I've given you the knowledge today, but I haven't given you the implementation today. So what we'll do is in our next session, I'll give you the implementation, like how to actually do these sessions, what to say exactly, word for word, the script. I'll even demo it out for you. Like, this is what to say step by step. And you can have that as a resource as well when that's there. Yeah, so I'm going to put this there if you want to watch it again. You know, I would say go through it. You know, it's a long one. It's a couple hours, but go through it. You know, fast. What I would do is go through double speed, like, you know, go to the bit that you want to go back through. But the next session is going to be the most important one, because in the next session, we're going to do the implementation piece. I'm going to show you how to send the messages, like exactly what to say in those messages to people. And it's really, really simple, by the way. And then I'll also show you what to do in those messages. And I'll also show you how to do the conversation. So we'll do that next week. Next Monday, we'll do that. We'll all do together. Everyone's welcome. We'll do that next Monday live. Okay. Don't give the client strategy. Yeah, we're not giving them strategy. They get strategy when they join our coaching program. So, for example, what we do in the session, in the Dream Quest session, when they're not, before they become a client, we're walking them through, you know, where they are, where they want to be, what their big dream, where they're stuck. And then we show them how our program works, whether it's a good fit or not. And then when they join the program, then we coach them. Then we find out more about their dream. Then we give them the strategy. Then we give them the implementation, etc. after they join the program. And what they're really doing is they're not paying you for the vision. They're paying you to help them on their vision, right? So in the first coaching session, you're helping them a little bit with their vision. But when they join your coaching program, you're helping them with accountability, with implementation, with removing internal resistance, and all those different things you learn as a coach. Okay. Okie dokie. I think that's about it. Would anyone like to share anything before we wrap up the session?
It was quite useful.
Okay, great.
Yeah, go
Thanks,
ahead.
Zahid.
Go ahead.
It was quite useful, to be honest. The only part about strategy, as you were saying, you don't give clients strategies. So that was the only confusing part. Like, we are helping them achieve their dream, you were saying, but we don't give them the strategy. Like, I know you said we don't give advice, which is true, but
we're not helping them to achieve their dream. We're helping them to understand their dream of what they want and understand where they are. We're helping them to understand it and see it. When they join the coaching program, we help them to achieve it.
Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so that first
But
contact is about let them understand the gap between what they want and where they are. And in that gap, that is where we are in. So we don't
Exactly.
give them any strategies, any ideas, any advice, nothing.
Yeah. And it's not because we don't want to help them, but it's because we know that that's just like blowing on a broken arm. It's like, it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
Because most people are not, you give them the strategy, they're not going to fully understand it. They're going to try and do it. Then they're not skilled enough yet. They probably don't have the capabilities. They probably don't have the bigger picture, and they don't have anyone to support them when they do get stuck. And that's why they're hiring you. Because I mean, everyone knows that you should exercise and eat healthy food, but no one does it because there's no one supporting them. But when you have a personal trainer and a personal coach, that coach is there with you every single week, just making sure, supporting you to make sure you get it done. And that's the difference between a course and a coach. A course gives you the knowledge, but it doesn't help you implement. But a coach help you to get the knowledge, but they also support you on the implementation piece, and which is really critical.
They don't build up.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you, everyone. So I will see you all next week. So we have another coaching training session next week. We have a coaching practicum next week, and we also have some other coaching training. We'll do this again on Monday, and I'll walk you through the script on Monday, and I'll walk you through how to send the messages out. Maybe we'll even send a few messages out in the session, get some stuff done. We'll maybe roll our sleeves up and make it more implementation based, and I'll also show you how to have the conversation as well. I'll go through word by word the script and show you how it's done. Okay? Thank you, everyone.
Braj, one thing, you said about the sweet spot. There's a way that we bring people from the left and from the right side in the center. So would you be also sharing that?
Yeah. We'll do that next week. So I'll show you how to do that next week. How to figure out if someone's there in the sweet spot, if they're overconfident or underconfident. So yeah, we just do that through questions. There's a couple of questions that we ask. You know. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your being here today. And I'll also put this recording up as well. So I'll in a couple,
Yes, please make sure to
hours.
upload the recording and the doc.
I definitely will, Joan. And I'll also give you the documents if you want to download those as well.
Oh, yes, please.
And I'll give you this. I'll also give you the slide presentation from today's session as well, so you can have those slides with you and you can go through them.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Braj.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great week ahead. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.
Have a great week.
Okay. Bye.